All right, how's it going? We were running a little late tonight, so we're back up. Hour and a half later. We're waiting for some of the guys to finish up their dinner and come join us. Right now, you have me, Mule Team 66. We have Wild Iron Horseman and Poison Stinger on right now. So I want to welcome you guys and welcome the 9 people that are out there watching. Thanks for showing up, especially after the afternoon we had. And we had like 50 and over viewers most of the time, which was awesome. So the 10 of you that are out there now, thanks for showing up. Hey, I'm glad we got Wild Iron in, because Wild Iron is a member of, well, associated with the California militia. So yep. I'd like to know, because I have just a few questions for you about that, Wild Iron, if you don't mind me asking.
No, not at all.
All right. Today, as we were down there watching Chris, watching the 10-round Patriot do his thing, which was awesome, by the way, we noticed that there were a lot of La Raza down there showing up in brown shirts, right, flying the Mexican flag and showing up out there. Now, I was wondering, why wasn't there a representation of the militia out there at the Murrieta protest?
Hang on a second.
If you even know. I'm not saying you know. I know you work a full-time job, and the militia is kind of like a volunteer fire department thing, where if you're not told they're doing something, you wouldn't know about it, and B, right, everybody has to work to feed their family and support not only their militia activities, but whatever activities they have also in life. So I know it's not like drop everything and go.
Right. No, I think that they should have had a small sector out there, the Southern Cal guys. I mean, that's Riverside County, so they got a pretty good sized unit down there. They should have had a handful of guys down there representing, at least for personal security on the part of the protesters, on the American side.
Yeah, I agree, and they may have, being I'm not a militia member in any militia, other than the one that we're naturally born into as Americans, I was just wondering, I mean, it could be they have their reasons for not going, right? They didn't want to present themselves in a bad light, acting like, looking like thugs or something, but I know you have the kind of contacts that may be able to answer that at a future date, so. Yeah,
I'll look into it and see why. I know, we did have a meeting the other night with the guys up north here, and we're partnered back with them, so it's like I'll get a hold of them this weekend and see what their feeling on it was. I know that they are more into wanting to do the mutual aid, the cross-state training, and get to know the guys, abroad, so that when stuff happens, like out at the Bundys or down here at Texas or something like that, we know who to go to get in touch with people. I mean, it's just getting people on a phone tree type situation.
Right. Because Chris was out there out there. He didn't need protection, but him and Justin were out there alone.
Right.
And seeing the thugs from La Raza show up, acting like they were some kind of security force, was flying the Mexican flag in the United States, was a little disconcerting,
Yeah. No, I agree. They didn't, I think, like I said, I think that the local unit down there should have had a handful of guys down there for the security on Chris's side as well.
Yeah. So, hey, Chris, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming back. Are you all hydrated now?
I'm as hydrated as I am. I'm better, so that's for sure. I'd like to get some more fluid in me, but I'm trying to get uploaded as many videos onto my channel as I possibly can.
Awesome. So please go sub the 10-round Patriot, the THE 10-round Patriot, and please check out those videos, because those are going to be awesome. And I'd like you to actually, I'm going to kiss your wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she's happy.
We're going to be blowing those videos up for you too, brother.
Nice. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Good job today, Chris. That was awesome, dude. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you, Glenn. I mean, thank you, Wild. I appreciate it. I was just doing the best I possibly could. I wasn't trying to be biased. I was just trying.
Sure. He gets Glenn's name right. What's up, Reb?
What's up, Rebel?
What's up?
Well, now we're all rebel except so it's okay.
We're all rebel now.
How's it going,
I was
brother?
just
Hey.
trying to,
What's going on, Glenn? Hey, great job out there, man. I just was catching up with all the stuff I missed.
thank you.
There's a couple of tense moments out there, man.
There was some very tense moments out there, that's for sure. Some very tense. I thought for sure they were going to start swinging at each other.
You could make a great video just out of the Marine that was in the black T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy, I mean, between him bantering and then his interview, that whole thing made it all worth it for me.
Yeah, that was there was definitely some high intensity, high emotional moments out there.
Yeah.
So I'm doing
Did you guys? I heard somebody say something about that was Dan Love out there. I didn't see that.
We got a closer view of him, and Tony said it didn't look like him. I was going off of one of the guys, what he said. He said that looks like him without a goatee, and he was the only Border Patrol agent there not wearing Border Patrol stuff besides the vest. So I thought it was a possibility.
Right. Yeah.
And I just thought, it was one of those things where it was very interesting to me to see the rest of clearly marked Border Patrol guys and the one guy himself not marked Border Patrol other than his vest and wearing traditional Levi's and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So
It seems really brazen of people, poking the bear, so to speak.
yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, this country's on its ass as it is, and now you want to, piss on us too? Really?
Yeah, well,
When people perceive weakness, that's when they attack, right? So
Yeah.
poking the bear when they think the bear's, old and never going to do anything, or a pussy now, or declawed,
Yeah.
they're going to go try and play with it. And they don't understand that only our government is pussified and declawed. It's not the people.
Yeah, I like that. I like those First Amendment zones they set up too. After a while.
I think that was just to keep people separated from,
yeah,
each
it
other.
got to the point, Glenn, where the cops had to go hands-on and grab people and physically move them because they were to the point where people were starting to push and to shove and get in faces. So the cops were doing the best they could to keep everyone from killing each other.
Yeah. Well, it was hot out there and aggressions were high.
I commend them for that because they weren't being douches about it. They were being very respectful.
I wouldn't go back out there, Chris, without the biggest can of bear spray you can possibly find.
That's a great idea. I never even thought about bringing pepper spray or something.
No, you want bear spray. That shit,
Or wasp.
it'll shoot 40 feet.
Wasp spray is good too.
Yeah, it got pretty tense out there, and I don't know if you've seen it, Rebel. At one point, the La Raza guys tried to prevent me from going on their quote-unquote side, and I basically said, "Excuse me, what are you going to do?" And they let me walk right on by because I was clearly a lot bigger than most of the people out there.
You know what seems to work well in those types of situations? I mean, I know there was 3 of them or whatever, but step on their foot. Once you break those small bones in the foot, they won't forget you're even there. They'll be in such pain.
It opens them up for a good uppercut too.
And then as they're falling down to the ground, you say, "Oh, excuse me, was that your foot I just broke?"
While their friends just beat your ass.
You're teaching biker tricks here. One of the reasons why you wear steel-toed.
Well, he is a prospect, right?
Right, and if you're going to do that, well, let them know that as you're going for the foot, make sure you scrape the shin at the same time. Because most people's shin are some of the most sensitive parts of their body, and they will immediately lose their urge to fight when their shin's in jeopardy.
I do that when people stand too close to me in line at the store. I just take a step back and I stand right on their foot until they scream. Oh shit! Oh, I didn't realize you were so close. Is there a problem? Yeah. I can't stand that. People invading your personal space, man.
I just
Unless it's
fart.
an attractive woman, then I'm fine with
Right.
it. You know.
And for all the 23 people just joining us, we're actually going to let Chris talk once we're done with our hellos and our bullshitting. Because, again, this is the Green Dragon Tavern, so it's the bar that was the birthplace of the revolution. So I want to welcome you all 23 of you at the moment. So, but I am going to turn the floor over to you, Chris, so you can give us kind of a summary of the day. And once you summed everything up, then I'm sure everybody's going to have questions and whatever. So...
Okay, so me and my partner showed up there around 12 o'clock today. We started giving interviews. There was 3 portions where there was actual people standing up with flags, and that was at the front of the Madison Street, the center of the Madison Street where the actual Border Patrol is, and at the end of the Madison Street. And we gave interviews at all 3 and decided, okay, pretty much no one else wants to give interviews because everyone's being burned by the media. That's what everyone kept telling us. We don't want you to burn us like the rest of the media has. We went to the center one and decided, okay, let me get in contact so we can start and go ahead and live chat because realistically, no one wanted to give interviews besides the few that I did get. And the main reason why I know I wanted to go there was to see either confirm or deny whether or not there was riot police, whether or not the police were becoming heavy-handed, and whether or not they had set up barricades, actual K-rail barricades like they were saying they were going to, or at least the media was portraying. And to go there and to debunk that made me feel good because then I know realistically that this is all rumors that people are trying to spread to either provocateur and get more people to come down there and to go angry and or to make it look like it's something worse than it really was. And throughout the day, people trickled in. Around 4 o'clock, maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock is when it started really getting vocal, when people started actually physically getting in each other's faces and yelling and threatening and yelling people to go home and cursing at each other and saying, we'll leave this country when you leave this country, Viva la Raza, and stuff like that. There was a lot of passion on both sides. Obviously, the pro-immigration side was a lot more people there than there was on the anti-immigration side. And for whatever reason, when I guess the bickering started, they split up. They split everyone up, and everyone on the anti-immigration started to slowly trickle away as where it seemed to me that more pro-immigration came. And from there, basically, that sums up throughout what happened throughout the day. There was no real, other than a few times people getting in each other's faces and the police having to physically come and remove people. That was about it. But there was no barricades. There was no riot police. There was a point where it started with 4 Border Patrol, and it worked itself to probably 20, 25 police, including Federal Border Patrol and Murrieta PD. So other than that, there was no real events happening. We didn't see any buses. A lot of federal agents, obviously, a lot of undercover federal agents driving around, and that's about it. Everything else, it was a regular, normal, hot day in Murrieta, California.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, G?
What's happening? What's up, bro?
What's up, G? I just posted some invites.
Oh, man. Good, brother. I just got back from the carnival. Came back in one piece.
Very nice. Well, finish what you're saying, though, Chris, because, like, Chris is doing a summary right now, G, and for anybody else who joined us, Chris is summing up how the day went down in Murrieta, debunking some of the bullshit that people were saying, where there were going to be riot cops there. Now, we did have a little bit of clarification. It seems like that whatever riot, SWAT cops or feds that were going to be with the immigrants were actually traveling with the immigrants.
Wow.
So, with the illegals, let's just put it that way. They were traveling with the illegals.
Right.
So, they never actually showed up in Murrieta, at least for the time that Chris was there. And
Right.
from what I've understand from the information we've been able to glean out on the net, links are in the last chat, that they were turned away long before and they went to El Centro. So, a place where nobody was prepared for them.
And I was there for roughly 6 hours, and I didn't see any real police presence until the people started getting in each other's faces and started getting a little out of hand. So the police presence was, I mean, you guys seen it. There was 4 officers, 4 Border Patrol agents there watching everybody until everyone started getting a little too emotional.
Yeah, I think, and if you watch on that last chat, Chris's phone died. The 10-round Patriot's phone died just as things were getting a little heated. And by the time he made it back, that's when that police presence with Border Patrol and Murrieta PD was drastically increased. By the time his phone got charged.
Because at 6:30 or a little bit earlier, Chris was telling us, or earlier than that, he was saying that there was no cops, nothing. It was a pretty mellow, chill environment, but it got worse when I left.
Well, what happened was those, and from what I could see in the background as Chris was interviewing when I was reviewing some of the chat, was you could see kind of those La Raza clowns and a few others stirring people up in the background. So.
Yeah. You knew something was going to happen. Something had to happen with all those.
White chick, those couple of, I don't know, whatever, the blonde and a few others. They shoved the liberals out to the front to do all the yelling while they were standing behind ready to do all the beating. So, and that was just my take on it. So.
Right.
Yeah,
well, I'm happy you got out of there in one piece, brother.
So am I, G. And I got a lot of the feeling it wasn't as there wasn't nearly the patriotic side there as I'd like to have seen it. It was really light today compared to what we saw on the 4th, and I got a little more feeling of so it seemed a little more relaxed than it was before until the end when it got really hectic. So it felt a lot more relaxed than it did when I was there on. It was more energetic on the 4th because there was so much more people there, standing up for the reasons I believe in, at least.
Right, and then plus it was the 4th, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this happened on a Monday, middle of the work, beginning of the work week, during work time, and just the fact that there was enough, there were people out there on the Patriots side at all is cool, and even though some of them are saying the only reason why I'm out here is because of the fact that I don't have a job, Yeah. But no, I'm talking about the Patriots side, the people that were out there like, look, I got no job, I got nothing else to do, so let me go out there and stand for my country,
10-4.
But that's the thing. I mean, this is, it's harder for people who are working people, like say take HDP. He had to wait to go down to the Bundy Ranch until he had the day off. He couldn't just quit his fucking job to go to the Bundy situation. Just like you took a day off today from your job, which is a company that you own. You and your partner were both out there when you technically should have been working. Building up sales and doing installs. Instead, you took the time out to go there and do it, which I can't thank you enough for, my friend.
No problem, guys. I wanted to be out there and spread what's really going on, not what's being told to us. It's easy to fall in and believe these awesome stories where you're like, man, that's crazy, that's happening. But to actually go out there and debunk it and say, man, these people are full of shit. Where are they coming up with this stuff, Because I've seen reports that people are being pushed around and the cops are starting to get heavy-handed with protesters. And none of that was present. None of it was present.
Yeah, you were there. You were on the grounds, just like HD and Tony. They were on the grounds, and it's a big difference when you're on the grounds and you're getting it, firsthand rather than, a reporter.
The thing I took from it was that there wasn't enough people there to even stop a bus like they did previously.
No, there wasn't.
So if buses had rolled in, they would have had nobody really able to stop them.
We were greatly overwhelmed with the police and the pro-immigration side.
Yeah.
What's going on, Red?
What's up, G-Money?
Doing good, my brother. Went to the carnival. Went on some rides, you know.
It felt good to be out there, though, that's for sure. And especially it felt good knowing that I had my partner there to back me up. I'm glad nothing went out of hand. You know, I knew those little suckers of the La Razas were all talk, because once I presented myself to them, you know, when they're trying to block me, they, of course they did nothing.
You come off. You handle yourself professionally. So
I try to.
You come off, you know, like a gentleman, and so there's no need for any shenanigans. But you know, you may have to bear spray somebody in the face at one of these times. You know.
It's good I wasn't there with you. See, we would have. If I was there, we would have definitely been fighting if I was there. That's why it's not good. We would have had 600 pounds of mass. You would have had a block. So they wouldn't have gone very far.
Yeah.
I would have rolled their asses up like a little fucking burrito and fucking tossed them.
Yeah, I did. You know, I just wanted to go there, G, and bring it live to the Green Dragon. You know, bring it.
Brother. Did great, man. Did great. Great.
I wanted it to be something that we're exclusively showing a live stream on, because there was no one else out there live streaming. There was the occasional clip that the media is putting their spin on.
Right.
But it wasn't real. It wasn't what the people were feeling. It was what the media wanted you to hear.
That's how it always is. See, they always report it the way they want you to take it. You know, it's
good thing Tony wasn't there. He probably would have got a can of hairspray and a lighter and took out those flags.
Actually, it would be good if Tony was there. He would have translated a lot of shit to us, Rev, if he was there.
But even whoever goes, you know what? I mean, Tony, for all the rhetoric that we all spew when we're angry, when he was at the Bundy Ranch, he handled himself appropriately. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with Chris. Chris went out there and handled himself appropriately. Not only did he show both sides of the coin, which it turns out, for at least the majority, we all agree on most of it. It's not the children's fault, but it's the federal government's and the way they're handling the border and immigration. I mean, those two young cats were out there saying the exact same thing, and they were on the pro-immigration side. And they're like, look, it's the whole reason they were there was it was not those kids' fault. And not realizing that's why everybody's there. We all know it's not the kids' fault, but that doesn't mean we have to let them loose in the country like, you know, freeing butterflies or something. You know what I'm saying? So, what's up, Chad Lilly?
What's up, Chad?
I'll let you get back to your summary there, Chris. Sorry.
I'm pretty much done. I mean, the rest is all questions. You know, it was a very uneventful day until the end. You know, the end is where the passion started kicking in. I believe that the La Raza side realized that they outnumbered us probably 3, if not 4 to 1. So they knew that they could get vocal and they could get in people's faces, and we didn't physically have enough bodies to back up anything. They could have easily outnumbered us.
And just so you all know, Chris, the 10-round Patriot just uploaded a video just now as we were speaking. So, after you're done watching us here, you can go check that out.
I've uploaded 2 so far. And I'll post more a little bit later today. I wanted to do as many as I could, but I'm not trying to slow us down.
Oh, don't worry about that, brother. You're doing just fine.
So what did you guys get out of it? I mean, how did it look to you guys, being a viewer's perspective?
It looked almost like a legit operation, brother.
It looks better than a legit operation, Chris, because you do a better job than the mainstream media shills there to repeat their script. Thanks for keeping it live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no problem, Chad. You know, I just wanted to bring it to the Dragon. That way the Dragon can have first dibs on anything that was going down there. Because by the time most of the media were even getting their guys out there, I was already up front.
You know you are under contract and you can't be getting any calls from Alex Jones or anybody, right?
I mean, if Mr. Jones does need some of my side footage, you contact me, Mr. Jones.
But he is under contract to the Dragon.
We can talk. We can talk, Mr. Jones. We can talk.
Have his people call our people.
If
We'll
anyone decides
talk
to
about it.
contact me for personal footage, we'll start a fund for the Green Dragon with it.
Right, we better be careful. Chris will be singing me and Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr.
He'll
Jones.
end up a
Right.
a new reporter. He'll be
Right.
hanging out with Leanne McAdoo.
You'll be like, where's Chris at? I'm like, I don't know, yo. I haven't talked to him in like 30 days. Oh,
Yep. I might just have enough of the
Mr. Big Time.
videos.
Big Time.
It takes a lot for people to just go up to somebody who they know don't like them and still ask them for an interview 5 times.
Shit. That's
With
my
legit
favorite
questions that weren't baited.
Yeah, they weren't
baited
questions. None of the questions I came up with were baited questions. I didn't want to go there trying to piss people off. I wanted to see how.
You were very calm and collect, bro. You did fucking great. You didn't come off with an attitude. You didn't fucking. You weren't feisty. You were calm, collective, and just wanted to get some info. And you asked for every interview you did. You always asked. You asked the person before you interviewed them. You didn't just, go up in their face and start asking them a million questions like everyone else. A lot of people just go ask people for interviews. They don't even ask them first. They just go up and assume that they want to do it. You at least went up there, and even on the pro side, you even asked everyone. Respectfully. That's how you do it.
Did you get the older gentleman in the green shirt? Did you interview him at all?
The older gentleman in the green T-shirt.
The one that was...
No, I tried to, and he just kept speaking Spanish to me.
Oh, okay.
I tried to. The one that showed his butt. The one that bent over to kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to, but he just kept speaking Spanish to me, so it was...
That's the guy that we were trying to get Tony to help us with. The guy with the green shirt that was yelling. I don't think Tony could make out what he was saying.
Yeah, he was yelling, and I thought he was for sure on their side, because when I showed up, he was on that side of the fence. And
his sign was something to do about Obamacare and government overreach, so I have a feeling that guy's a legit, immigrant that actually did it legally, and is probably pissed off that people are doing it wrong.
He probably worked his ass off to become a legal citizen of this country and can't believe what's happening.
Yep, I wouldn't doubt it. Hey, guess who just went live?
Who's that?
Pete Santilli. He's a day late and $1 short, buddy. I've already covered it. Might as well just go ahead and close it down.
That was awesome that you said that to Al Jazeera, too. Let me shout out the room real quick. We have a few people who made comments. We have 31 people in. How's everybody doing? We got Chad Lilly in. We got Jason Brumsfeld. J Watt. What's up, J Watt? Optimus Android. And this thing pisses me off. I can't ever... It just... When I check the damn spam, now it's not showing me half the other names. So I want to thank everybody that's joining us. We have between 31 and 27 people. So thanks for joining us. And when I can, when it updates right, I'll be saying hi. So Pete Santilli just started live. Yeah, right? It's only 7:30 there.
Mm-hmm. Day late, $1 short, Pete. Already got all of it. Might as well just go home, buddy.
Watch out. You might be getting a call from him. Doesn't he have reporters now, too?
Yeah, he does. See,
yeah, you talked to one on the Friday, right?
I did. I did talk to one on the Friday.
On the Friday, sorry. My English is bad.
That's okay. You ought to send him a link to the last chat, Chris.
I gave all those guys, I sat down and wrote the name of the chats for them to come in and watch. I should send them the last chat. That way they can cover it.
Right. Well, that way they can at least see that, you know what, fuck the dragon, but they might give you a call.
I'm not worried about it, gentlemen.
Paid gig is a good gig, right?
I didn't talk to no actual media people, so they're gonna have a hard time trying to catch me.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
I'm like,
you know what? We are going to do a switch up coming this week. I wanted to sit down with a few of our artists that we have, graphic artists and others, to try and come up with some kind of card, business card that we can just send you guys a JPEG for, so you can print them out yourself off your home printer and hand them out. Take them to Kinko's yourself if you want to. You know, whatever your thing is. You know, but then you can say, hey, here's what this is about. Can I interview you? Like you were doing, Chris. And I think, and it was cool that every time you explain, most of them were being real hostile to anybody until you explained what you were representing, and then all of a sudden, people wanted to talk to you, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, without a doubt. It did seem like they were a little more friendly once they realized where I was coming from.
Yeah, and I think being able to slip somebody a card and say, hey, take a look at that, with pretty much a summary of what, you know, at least what you're representing stands for, and more, and you as well, because you wouldn't be representing it if you didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, well, I'm going to go back and check the room and see if I can see new comments yet. All right. Yeah.
Hey,
okay,
G, this is for you, buddy.
Justin Wooley's in.
I'm watching
Ronnie
it.
Brown. Glocker Bob.
Oh,
Solo Nation Warrior. And yeah, it is a shame that both sides are using the children as as pawns. So, yeah, I agree with that.
very nice.
100%. Joel Sweatman's out there. Ronnie Brown. Solar Savage. Chris J. Barton. Barry Wood. Jason Brumsfeld. Yeah, I know what La Raza means. And thanks for sharing it with other people, too, though. Mindy Patriot Angel. Leon Aaron. He's a little loud. And then me.
Damn.
I don't know. I can't tell. But we're all good. It might be Chad. Your speaker might be your mic might be a little close to something, Chad. How you doing, buddy? You ain't been on in a while, actually, but I noticed you've been in the chat room. What did you think of the whole, did you get a chance to watch what Chris did today?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I'm watching.
And what did you think?
I'm glad to see somebody really on the ground. I'm glad to see getting real information. You know, all that's great. You know, I'm on the fence because on one side of me, I'm not the patriotic program good little puppet that gets all weak-kneed when I see someone waving a flag. Flags don't really mean a whole lot to me. And yet, even being that, I see them here in this country waving their, you know, Mexican flag, screaming La Raza, playing their game. And there's something that's upsetting to me about it. And I don't know why. Because, again, I'm not the flag-waving, patriotic, program type person, and yet it even bothers me. So, I don't know.
Well, you know what, Chad, I think...
I don't like what's happening. Let me just say it that way. I don't like what's happening, and I know what's coming next, and I like that even less.
Right, right. And thanks for joining us, because I can actually see your point of view, because I know a lot of people are not, you know, I love America, but I don't love my government, right? And I understand that we are a nation of immigrants, and most that came here legally. That's why I'm upset, and even though I understand it's not the children. But you can't have nations without borders. And if we don't, because then you're not a nation, then it's just mobs flowing from place to place, you know, eventually acting like locusts and just destroying each place, right? So that's the thing that bugs me the most, is the fact that we have laws in place that, you know, the federal government is breaking by doing this. And that's the thing that bothers me. And the fact that the children are the pawns. We were talking about this during the chat, right? These kids ain't coming from Guatemala, Chile, you know, anywhere else in you know, the southern hemisphere, right, without help. They're not passing through Mexico without help. I mean, they can't hit our southern border without traveling through Mexico. And you can't tell me that the Mexican government, the border with Guatemala is so much smaller than the border with the United States. And they have fences. They have strict border control down there, right? But they let them through as long as they say they're going up to the United States. If they say they're staying in Mexico, your ass gets turned around and sent back to your fucking country, right?
No, we talked about this, man. It's all part of a plan. This is,
I know.
This is part of a plan. And that's what I don't like. I don't like the fact that it's part of the plan and I see it happening. I don't have a problem with people coming here. I don't have a problem with borders. To me, they're imaginary. It's all a bunch of made-up bullshit by madmen with pins. But when I see this next stage of the plan happening, no, I don't like what's coming next, and I don't want to see it. I don't like it.
Yeah, and the problem with the border thing is once you start eliminating borders, then you open everything up to feudalism, right? Then it becomes the strongest, right? Whatever fucking warlord. I mean, look at Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
It's a perfect example, right? The second that there's no government to control anything, all of a sudden the strongest, right? Then Darwinism comes into play, right? The strongest survive, right? And the strongest control. They may be mental midgets, but as long as they're brutal and strong, they will become the dominant ones.
Yeah.
Right.
And numbers help too. Like Chris was saying earlier about they outnumbered the people there 4-1. That makes the difference too. You don't have to be right to have might. You can just have the numbers. In fact, if the majority is stupid, then a democracy is really in trouble now, isn't it?
And that's why our founding fathers decided to make this a democratic republic.
Republic. Exactly.
Yeah, a republic, right? Representative democracy, right? Because they understood that, yes, even at times, a true democracy is brutal and evil.
Yeah.
And yet you constantly hear the propaganda feed that we are a democracy, we're a democracy, we're a democracy. We're not a fucking democracy, we're a republic. You know? And even if we were, the majority doesn't rule, even now.
Yeah, the few rule. The few rule.
So we're definitely heading towards feudalism very quick, especially if we lose borders, define borders. Because say we did lose the border of the United States, right? But Arizona wanted to keep its border. You know, Arizona says, hey, we're staying as a state. All our people want to stay as a state, so we're going to fight for our state. The United States isn't there to help us, but screw them. You know what? We got or Texas, right? Turns out there's a lot of military bases in Texas. So if they just kept all their shit and said, this is all ours now, and we're just going to protect the Texas border, well, and then they shut everything down and not let anybody in, what's anybody going to say? You know, because as a nation, this is what the whole collective unity of the United States is about. They're supposed to take care of the national borders, the borders surrounding the individual countries.
Yeah,
which we
the
now
states are supposed to be their own, basically their own countries.
Yes.
And the federal government's just to protect all of them.
Now we need to separate the difference, though, between what's supposed to be, what sounds really cool on paper, and the way shit really is.
Yeah, the way shit really is Uncle Sugar is the dominant over everybody and has everybody begging at the feet for scraps from the table.
Exactly.
Right? So the power is concentrated up into a small group of people, and then they got bought by an even smaller group of people. Right? So these people that were supposed to be the small group of representatives over all of us are now the small group of puppets for the corporate masters that they all work to.
Hey,
What's
Linda.
up, Linda?
Hey, everybody. I saw that I got an invitation, so I thought I'd come in.
How's it going, Linda?
It's going really good. How about you?
Going good.
Hi, Linda.
Hey, Linda, can I ask you one separate question? So you're saying this is the first time you're seeing yourself get an invite? That's what it sounded like to me.
No.
I send them to you every time.
No. I send them all the time, Miss Linda. What are you doing, girl?
Yeah. Well, no, gee, it's not us. I have this problem all the time. And me and Sting were talking about it. I send out links all the time, and some people get them and some don't. That's the only reason why I was asking.
It's the first time I've actually seen one.
Well, at least you got it this time. Thanks, Linda, for coming in. Hi, Kenny.
As I said, we brought in Kenny last time. I think last week Kenny was in.
Oh, you got the headphones on so he can't hear me.
He can't hear you. I thought he was
good. So now we can talk all crazy, right? No.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought what the gentleman said about it's the government. It is not the people coming in. That is exactly right. In May, of 2014, our Senate, Congress, whatever, they passed that backdoor amnesty program. Republicans and Democrats, I don't vote, so, but I just read their shit. And they both were on board. I guess, what's that guy's name, Ryan? You guys may know him better than me, Paul Ryan or something?
Yeah, Paul Ryan.
All right, he is all for this, all for this. So this what is happening now is because they agreed on it, and it's money for them. They got money in their pocket, so they're all on board. The corporation does this every time.
It's all about the dollars.
That's very true.
I hadn't heard about the Paul Ryan comment. I know Ted Cruz had been making some fun little accusations here and there, but yeah, I haven't really been following it too much from the mainstream media side, so I'm getting all my news from here.
I just read the Senate hearing. I don't even watch news, so it was me reading the Senate hearing and then trying to find the transcripts and then trying to find something that breaks it down easier and share it on Google Plus, because it's really boring. I mean, if you want to sit and read through all that.
Well, I can imagine it would be, yes.
Yeah. So I blame the government, and I think it's a bunch of scared children, and I hope people see it that way, because, like someone was saying on here, I mean, you know, these children may think, because I was in Mexico in the 80s where Tyson had a sign that said, "You are welcome in America, and we will bus you there." It had it in English and all kind of languages. And I was like, whoa, people don't know about this. So, yeah, you know, they think they're welcome here, and they're meeting this reception, so I'm thinking these kids are probably terrified. And we're probably infecting them with vaccines and stuff that, you know. So that's my opinion on it. I feel for the kids.
Right.
You know,
well, I'd say some kids maybe aren't, you know, I mean, to a point, you know, but I kind of put this in your comment on one of your videos earlier, you know, some of these kids, 8, 9, 10 years old, maybe even younger, are already integrated into, you know, many of the Mexican-known gangs and are hardened already. They're not like normal, you know, American kids. They've had a harder life. They have to join gangs, or they're mules for drug runners, you know. It's kind of a different kind of child that we're talking about here sometimes, too.
Well, the sad thing in the amnesty bill says we can use them for military service, and as long as they're OTM, other than Mexican, there's no age limit. So I didn't know exactly what that meant, but does that mean that they can put a gun in an 8-year-old's hand and send them overseas? We've done that in the past and don't bring the bodies back. I mean, we leave those people where they died. So that's what frightened me. Is that where we're going with this?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's no age limit. It didn't have an age limit for them. Now, the Mexicans, it did. 16. 16, they can join the military. If they serve their service, they can come back. That's what's in this backdoor amnesty. But it said OTM, which was other than Mexican, there was no age limit. And I don't know what that means. It didn't describe it, so it kind of frightened me.
Right.
So, and I don't know. That's just, this is my point of view on this right now. You know, I don't know what our government is trying to do.
Well, as I said, I'm all for a kid who wants. First of all, I don't understand their parents, but you know, if a kid is wanting to come here and it's all kosher, like everybody thinks it, you know, it is, and the kid just wants a better life, they're escaping whatever they're escaping from their country, then I'm all for it. But it's still got to be. There's still got to be a process. There's still, you can't just let them loose and then give them a court date that they'll never show up to. You got to keep them in an area, make sure they're healthy. If they have any medical issues, take care of those. And you have to do the background check on these kids, or you're just inviting all sorts of lawlessness and bad things. Because just because they're under 18 does not make them a good person.
Well,
it's hard to do that when a lot of these kids don't have documentation regardless.
Right.
a lot of them have been relocated. If they're coming from South America, I know that our corporations are doing uranium mining there. We have flooded a dam. I know that we took a dam down and people had to relocate. I know they're doing uranium mines, and if you know anything about uranium and the tailings and stuff, people are probably dropping dead. We've done the palm tree stuff down there. We're deforesting South America, and so people are being forced to relocate, and they may not have no other option. And I don't know, as a good neighbor, I would say at least set up a refugee camp so these people could get a clean bill of health, find a way in here, a legitimate way, but we've got to set up something because it's our corporation sponsoring all of that, and it's actually genocide.
Now, to counter that, Linda, you know, I don't think that it is our responsibility. You know, I do realize that the government is doing that, and the government is responsible for that, but to put them in my backyard where it will affect me, where it will affect my taxes, is not right.
I would rather my taxes go to them than to any fucking war that we're in right now. I'm going to have to be, that's my point of view.
And I agree,
with all the wars.
I agree with you. They shouldn't be going to wars. But my taxes shouldn't go up to have to take the burden from these people.
Yeah, but if our corporations are doing it, I think we should go to the corporations en masse. If the mass majority would realize that most of the corporations are sponsored by this empire system, in which the USA and allies are doing this, then someone's got to be held responsible. And if it's the corporations, they need to find a place to relocate them and pay for it. I'll agree with that. If it's here in America, there's plenty of room in America. I know people say there isn't, but there is. I flew on an airplane from someplace and didn't see nothing for miles. You know, and I think it was from Las Vegas to Washington State. So we could do something to help these people. But I'll agree. Maybe the taxpayers shouldn't do it. Let's make the corporations do it. Let's start holding the government and the corporations accountable for what they're doing.
So where do I go sign this petition to make them accountable? Because from all I can find out, there's nothing. And the only stand up and fight I can do against my federal government is go stand out with my people out there and show that we don't appreciate it.
I agree with that, and I think protests are good to a point, and then you have to take it to the next step. But I'm an American Indian, and we've done that, and I think we're about to do it again. And Kenny said, please don't go into the Indians. But he always says that. But we've done it once, and I know that the First Nations in Canada has done it in 1990 and 2000, and took on the Canada government. And so, I mean, it scares the government when you stand up with arms against the government. Believe it or not, they'll bring in the military, but if you get mass people backing you, they back down sometimes.
Yeah, we saw that for the first time in my generation anyway, and Nevada there, and I can't believe how amazed I was by that. You know, it's just you see Occupy Wall Street and all that happened to them versus the people at the Bundy Ranch, and right there, you know that an armed protest is a much more peaceful one all the way around. But to see the government actually back down for once, yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, it is awesome to see the government back down, and I do look at it as this is a back down of the government because, you know, the people are still here. You know, we didn't get them shipped back to Mexico. We just didn't have them dumped off in our backyard.
All right.
I'm sure they'll be in my state. Our state's pretty much, they always ship them to Washington State. I have illegal friends, so I don't know what to say. They served in Vietnam, and they still have not got their citizenship, and that was what they were promised. It's just one of the games the Empire plays. And I can't stay on here long. I just wanted to voice my opinion on this, you know, and I know you guys are doing a really good job. I'm not going to stay on here long so other people can jump in. But, you know, I think these children or whoever's coming across thought they were welcomed. That's my biggest thing, because we do lead them to believe that. If you've ever been across the border, you would see that. We lead them to believe they're welcome here.
I didn't lead anyone to believe that they're welcome here, Linda. So, you know, we don't do anything. The government does another thing.
Exactly. Well, then we need to force that rage of the government, and it would have to be a mass standing to do that. I don't know many people that would do it, though.
What I don't understand is where do we stand at? Where is this happening? Because I don't see any of that happening. The only standing I see of is the little groups like the one that I went to today of standing and saying, hey, stop. We don't appreciate this. You know, I'm not there protesting kids. Linda, I wasn't there. I was there protesting my government and showing support of what the people feel and how the people feel. Not about my agenda, not about my side. That's the reason why I didn't try to force my views on anybody. I wanted to hear exactly what they were saying and how they felt about the situation.
And that's a good idea. First of all, we've got to get people to start not liking the government because, believe it or not, people still want to participate in this corporate system. They'll vote. If you vote, you're giving consent to what they're doing. We have got to unindoctrinate people, and I don't know how to do it. I've been trying to do it for years. The first time you cast a vote, you're saying, all right, I give consent for you to represent me and do whatever the hell you want. And I don't participate in that kind of government. I believe in a government that's more, and I'm going to say tribal in a way, where it starts small communities, and goes from there. This big empire we have, I don't know how we take it on.
That's where my concern is, you know, I don't see any other option. The only option I see is to go protest down in Murrieta. That's my only option I see. There's nothing else around me for miles.
Exhausted so many other avenues at this point. You know, we're getting to that point where what else do you do? Really, you know?
You know, and I hate to someone think that I don't like them because of the color of their skin. Has nothing to do with that. Has everything to do with I don't like being told what to do. And I don't like being told that, hey, you're going to foot this bill whether you like it or not.
I think, you know, I see the border going on, and I'm going to head to a different part of the country probably within the next 3 or 4 months when I start feeling better, because I think the war is actually not going to start on the southern border. I actually think it's happening on the northern border. And that's a different thing. I'm not even going to get into it, but there's going to be, the RCMP have already lined southern Canada's border, and the Lakotas are getting kicked off of their nation if the government has their way, and we're talking about a third Wounded Knee. Now, and all the nations are going there, and actually the CIA, which is called Cowboys and Indians, it's a group, and they're going to back them up. Now, you're going to have the Canadian Indians, First Nation peoples, the American Indians, and now another group involved to help them. And they're not going to stand down. There will be arms. It will be an armed conflict. I just hope that mainstream media is not going to carry it. I'm going to tell you that.
That's why you need to say more about it. You need to talk more about it.
Yeah, talk a little more about it. Go ahead and take the time you need. Discuss it right now
Because
while we're on the subject.
This southern border is a distraction.
Thank you. It's the biggest distraction, because what's going on the northern border is insane. The you know, Obama visited the Lakotas, I think, 2 weeks ago, turned around, and now they're trying to take the land and relocate the people. And so this is disturbing. And also there's a Cowboy Indian Alliance. They knew this was going to happen. That started, and they named it the CIA on purpose, just to kind of mock the CIA. I think it was in May they marched into in May they went into D.C. Nobody saw this on the TV. They had like 1,000 horses. They were on horseback. I mean, nobody saw this. I was posting it everywhere, and nobody was watching because there was other things going on. So they marched in. They gave them an ultimatum, and they said it will be a declaration of war if you go through with it. Well, the government has said we're going through with it. That's a declaration of war. The natives aren't taking this lightly, and they said the war paint's on, and the CIA is going to back them up. The RCMP in Canada, if you see the solo warrior in the chats down there, because I'm not seeing the chats, she can tell you First Nations are backing this up because of the crap that the governments are doing there. There's going to be I'm going to call it an Indian war, and we're hoping everybody will join in. I mean, it's serious. I mean, it's getting more serious by the day.
Yeah, it needs more coverage, that's for sure. I mean, just paste the shit out of it.
Absolutely. We 100%. I agree with you on that. It needs a lot more coverage. You know, if someone's not out there covering it, it's never going to be heard.
Well, they cut the cell phones off at some of the. I've noticed that some of my friends who send me links and say we're protesting here, the RCMP can turn off your cell phone like that. Our government can if they're doing it. They don't show anything that the First Nations or the American Indians are doing for a reason, because they did Wounded Knee. If you guys remember the second Wounded Knee, I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm older.
I'm a little fuzzy on it, but I'm gonna definitely have to go research it more.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
I didn't even know there was a second Wounded Knee. So.
Oh, well, that was an armed conflict. You had Russell Means. You had John Trudell there. I think it was in 75. Oh, goodness. Might have been 74, 75. Because I get my dates all mixed up now on which event happened when. And, yeah, the Army came in. The Army was there shooting them down. Leonard Peltier's in jail because he was accused of doing something which they completely disproved he did, and he's still in jail, and he's an Indian. He's going to die there. So, I mean, it was a war. There was a war there on the Lakota Nation. Just look up Second Wounded Knee, and that's going to happen again, but it's going to be 100 times bigger because you're going to have First Nations joining in. And so it's going to be over that invisible line. That invisible line is going to mean shit pretty soon on the northern border. And it's sealed tight. Let me tell you, I can't get into Canada, and my friend from Canada can't come see me because we're both Indigenous. Now, that should tell you something. There's something wrong with that picture, if you ask me. There's a reason they don't want us collaborating, because we're not afraid to fight.
No, you guys been fighting since we landed in the boats.
Yeah, the native people have always been one to stand up.
So it's going down, and I know DJ Moore was putting some stuff up about it, but nobody watched his either, and it's like, so there's a group of us that have the Indigenous in it that are talking about it, and I wish other people would get in on the conversation, because you're welcome. We've been wanting other people to join in, like the CIA, the Cowboy Indian Alliance that formed. That's just the most awesome thing I'd ever heard of. They're backing them up. And they're from Nebraska. They're from all over up there. So they're backing them up. And I think it's fantastic, but it is a declaration of war against First Nations and Indigenous, and this is all over corporations, oil. They're taking the reservations so they can do more tar sands and uranium mining and run pipelines.
It's true. All you have to do is follow the money, and you'll find out who's behind a lot of this stuff if you just follow the money. And I'm kind of curious who's got the money on this whole border run that we got right now.
The one in the where? Which one? The southern?
Yeah, the one that's going. Yeah, the one we're talking about today. Down in. Yeah.
Well, whoever wants water, number one, because that's a precious resource. I mean, they've got lots of water. So you could look at 6 corporations there that like to control water. Uranium mining, there's like probably about 12 different countries that like to uranium mine, and most of them come from us or our allies. And then they're going after the oil. So, and you guys know who the oil people are. And there's got to be a better way to solve what they call an energy crisis when there is so many patents for free energy out there. They just, those people wouldn't make money if we let that happen. So
yeah, there's too many powerful people with too much to lose to have free energy.
So it's going to boil down to a war. And as I was watching the southern border thing happen and knew what the Congress and Senate had passed and signed on to, I'm watching the northern border exploding with people getting ready. I call it putting their war paint on. And it just kind of baffled me in a way that I know mainstream media won't pick up on it until the troops are there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the troops were there at the Second Wounded Knee. I know Mule knows a lot about that. Does anybody else here know about the Second Wounded Knee besides me?
There's some people in the chat room that do. Let me see. I think it was. Let me go back. Son of the Republic was commenting that it's 1973 was the date. Excuse me. As I said, I know a little bit about it, but not enough to open my mouth.
And shots were fired on that day?
Huh?
Shots were fired on that day?
Oh, man, shots were fired for several days. I mean, the Indians, when they put the red paint on their face, that meant they were ready to die, and the Army was shooting back. I mean, it was a battle. You need to go watch the Second Wounded Knee. It's quite something to see that show of force here in my lifetime in just what we call the United States of America. Now, in the 90s, if you're interested, it happened in Oka in Canada, and then in 2000 it happened again in Canada. I mean, so it's happening, and the troops come in and they fire on people, and fortunately at Wounded Knee they fired back, and at Oka they had guns in Canada, so that was a good thing, a very good thing, or a lot of people would have died. So, yes, military was heavily involved in Wounded Knee, and it was all stirred up because the people wanted to get back to their traditions, and that's the whole thing that caused it, is because they wanted to do ceremonies and stuff. That's what pissed the government off.
Well, yeah, I mean, we even seen that. I mean, maybe a lot of people might not know about Wounded Knee, but I bet you a lot of people know about the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas. And now that the truth has come out about that, because when I was watching that, I think I was 14, and the only thing you had to go off of was the media that was around at the time. So a lot of people thought, well, yeah, they're child molesters. But now looking back on it with a little bit more information, we can see that, no, they just wanted to be left alone. They were off-grid. They were doing their own thing. And, boy, the government does not like that. So they made up a whole bunch of shit and went after them. Just recently, one of the shows that I like to watch is called Mountain Men. It's on, I think, the History Channel. Very good show. There's a guy on there from, I believe, Tennessee, and his name is Eustace, and he lives off-grid and cuts wood and sells his wood in order to make some money for the taxes on the land. But, I mean, they were going after him with all sorts of code violations because he was teaching people how to be self-sufficient, and they weren't getting any money. So therefore, you know, because he didn't have electricity, they wanted to shut his little school down on how to be self-sufficient because he didn't want to have electricity. And apparently that violates some sort of code. And we're seeing that now more than ever. Even the people around me that are wanting to go off-grid and have just solar energy, because you can have that now with the technology around, they just want to have solar panels and not have to pay a energy bill. They're going to get higher taxes now because how dare they not pay into the system. Now we got these electric cars, or hybrid cars and electric cars, and now the government's bitching and moaning that, well, now that you're getting all this better gas mileage, or you don't need gas at all, now how are we going to pay for all this road construction because you're not paying road tax through the gas? So now we're going to think about putting in a GPS locator in your car, and we're going to tax you on the mileage you drive instead of on the gas you buy. So you can't go off grid. I mean, maybe some people do it, but I mean, most of the people that I've heard of that try to go off grid, they get messed with a lot.
I think they're messing with every human being they can possibly, and I think they're trying to divide everybody up. And I, on the other hand, would rather unite people and tell them, you know, most everything that happens, the government orchestrates for a reason because it causes division. And right now, I think they're kind of mad at the Lakotas also because they started a school, and it was called a treaty school. And they found out that instead of the Common Core that's going on. And the treaty school taught academics plus their traditional values, which if you're in a whatever community, a Catholic community, and you want to teach those family values and also some other things, you should be able to do that, right? Well, the Indians did it, and the academics were higher than anyone in the United States, and that pissed them off really bad.
I want to thank High Desert Pioneer. Yeah, it's North Carolina. That's Eustis from that show Mountain Men. Sorry I had that wrong. But yeah, it's just whatever happened to the pursuit of happiness and just being totally self-sufficient. If you're not you know, on the government teat some way or another, it drives them crazy. How dare you want to be self-sufficient and not rely on any of our services?
Well,
Very true.
guys, I got to get off here. I enjoyed this, and maybe one day we can do this on this issue. I think it would be good. And if I could put up some links, maybe people could read them and see what's happening. And that would help, you know. But I love all you guys. I just wanted to pop in because I saw the invite, and I'm going to let someone else jump in now. How about that?
All right, well, we're glad you came in.
Good to see you, Miss Linda.
Thank you for coming in and giving us your point of view of it. You know, I don't mean to be harsh about it, but this is my back door, and you know, I feel as a Native American as well that this is a huge issue for me because I'm Navajo, I'm quarter Navajo, and this is my people's lands. But it's not only my people's lands. This is anyone who was born in America's land.
Well, I know a lot of Dene. Do you know Clee Bentley by chance?
No.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of Dene peoples, and they're really good people, so I can understand. I know a lot of Dene activists. But I'm going to jump off here, and maybe we can do this again and talk about what's happening on the northern border.
Well, thank you.
Anytime. Come in anytime, Miss Linda.
Thank you.
Come in anytime.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, Miss Linda.
See you, Linda. Linda's got it right about the divide and conquer, and it's not just about what we call native. By the way, if you're born in America, that's what native means.
Exactly.
So it means if you're Native American, you're born in America. That's what it means. But she's right in the sense that they're all about that divide and conquer, and we're seeing that with not just what we call Native Americans, but any culture, any group, any ideology, they are infiltrating and dividing and conquering. And I'm especially seeing it here on gun channels on YouTube. There are many, many gun owners, especially large gun channels, that are so pro the machine. They love the government. They're the biggest cheerleader for the government I've ever seen. They got the short skirt on. They got the pom-poms. They love it. And I'm seeing it happen right here, even among the Second Amendment community.
That's a shame.
But it works. That's why they use it. That's the only reason they use it, because it's effective.
It's very true.
So Riddle Girl's working up on our press passes here, and Mule, she wants to send you one, but you're not showing online, so I'm just going to tell her to send it to you anyway. But
I'm back.
Yeah, I know you are. That's why I was talking with you.
Oh, those look awesome.
Yeah, she's going to send you one.
Well, then we need to. She's good. She's good.
All right.
Sweet. So what do you guys think? I mean, this is the kind of thing, that and business cards. I want to. It was mentioned today while Chris was out there, that would be a great thing to give out, and none of us thought of it. Galanis Vilkas did, and it's a great idea. So I just want to give cred what cred's due. And thank you, Riddle Girl, our head female bartender, for sharing that with us. What happened to Linda?
Oh, she wanted to make room for other people. Had to go anyway, she said.
Okay. Well, I got to go myself here in a minute, but I'm going to leave it running. I got to go pick up the wife from work. So I'll be back in about hour. So it can keep running, or if you guys shut it down, that's great. Chris, again, I want to thank you, and I'm definitely can't wait to see all your videos. Just turns out Monday's a busy day for me.
Yeah, I'm going to upload them as much as possible throughout the day. I just want to go through and cut out all the nonsense in it. If there's anything like you can hear me talking before, or if I tried to restart because of too much noise, So it's going to take me a little bit, but I've gotten 2 out there so far, and I'm going to get out as many as I can. I think I have something like 23, 24 interviews.
Wow, that's cool. Hey, Riddle Girl and Sting, thanks. That's awesome. I think it works. What do you guys think? Let me know.
Well, she's got to change reporter for the Daily Planet to Green Dragon Tavern Chats because this ain't Metropolis. But other than that, it's nice.
Yeah, and you know what? That would be awesome. And if we can, send it to people who are willing to go out and stand up like Chris has done, and HT has done, and Rebel has done, and Wild's done, and the one who started it all, Mr. Tactical Tony,
Right.
That'll be awesome. And then hopefully by the time SHOT Show rolls around, he'll be able to get press credentials too. So that'll be awesome. But I got to go get the wife. So like I said, I'm going to leave it running. But
no, I'm in as the dragon too, so you should be all right.
No, plus I don't want to lose my seat.
All right. Yeah. Well, I guess that would be the case.
It can happen. Well, no, just in case too. You know how it is. Sometimes stuff glitches or whatever.
Right.
So,
right.
I'll just leave it running. You don't have to look at Obama burning the Declaration of Independence if you don't want to. So it's all
I'll
good.
just center it on Chris.
There you go. It's all good. I'll talk to you guys a little later.
See you in a bit.
You're the star tonight, Chris. Come on.
I'm no star. I just went out and did what I know any of you guys would do if it was in your backyard.
Right.
Nothing special about that.
From Murrieta.
Doing my duties as an American citizen.
Okay, you don't have to use the word duty, but okay. But no, you were the one that was there. I wasn't there, so you have the best knowledge on it of any of us, and at least on the ground knowledge. And so, yeah, everybody wants to hear from you. I will go ahead and give the room a shout-out real quick, though, if you guys don't mind, and maybe we'll answer some questions that are in there. Let me go ahead and look at these. I should probably change over the Green Dragon, that way I can see if there's any spam. Solar Savage is out there. I'm going to mispronounce this. Stolio Nation Warrior. Saying, Chris, it was awesome, and thanking you. Let's see. Wild Iron Horseman, Son of the Republic. Says, wow, didn't know racism was cool here. Not racist. We're just not going to be worried about political correctness. So, well, I don't know. I don't even know what that was in regards to. Dystopian Empire out there.
I just got it on the link.
Right, Derek Ward. Save America's Liberty. And if you're commenting on racism in the actual YouTube chat, I have no control over that, so I don't know. I'm not even going to look into it because there's nothing to look into. Joel Sweatman is out there. Leon Aaron's out there. High Desert Pioneer, and that catches me up. So no real questions for anybody, but I do want to thank Chris for going out there. I know you're just doing your duty, as you put it, but it's nice that we have somebody that's able to do that, and you did a really great job, so I will give you a lot of props for that.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to watching all your videos you're uploading right now.
Thank you. I did my best to represent the Green Dragon respectfully and honorably to where no one can sit there and say, oh, look at this guy. Let's bash the Green Dragon because of this one guy.
You got your knee pads on?
No.
He's already got a partner watching his six for that. So.
Yep. So.
No, good stuff though, man. You really stepped up your game with the whole mic thing and having a cameraman and a tripod. I mean, wow. As I said, just being a viewer of it, it looked like a legit operation. You know, and so that was really cool. I'm glad to see it. The shaky camera stuff is so hard to follow when you're just a viewer, and can kind of be nauseating at sometimes. And you really didn't have that this time.
Well, that is because the wonderful tripod.
Oh, gee, what's up, brother?
My bad. I'm trying to get this stuff in. I'm trying.
Yeah, you know, I'm just going to mute you because you're going to echo. You can come back on when you get that.
the wonderful tripod did me wonders today.
Right on.
So I am able to mount my awesome phone up here and give you the most stable interviews and footage possible, just because I realized if I was going to be going out there and I didn't want people throwing up within 30 minutes of me shaking around, it would make it a lot easier if I had a stable platform.
Yeah, I really like that for the phone. I've seen those mounts for phones, but not for a tripod. That's really cool. And it worked really well. It looked like you had a real camera on a real tripod for the most part. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I invested a little bit of money because I wanted to put out better video than I did the first time.
And that you did, brother. And that you did.
Sorry, Dis.
Thanks, Gene.
You got it, brother.
Appreciate it, brother.
No problem, man. What's next, thing? What are we doing?
Oh, not too much. I'm looking at some of the stuff that Real Girl is putting out there. She reworded the press pass and looking real good. And that will be great. It'll be good to have people have that. It won't be that hard. It'll just be a file that you can then go to your Kinko's or your Staples or whatever. Yeah. Have a nice photo of yourself, put your information on it, and laminate that bitch. And you got a press credential at that point.
Yeah, do that.
For a couple bucks.
Yep. That's nice. Talking about being on it, fucking Little Girl. Shout out to Little Girl for always being on top of the things. Always on top of the data.
Right. And Little Girl found some laminating pouches for that kind of press pass for $12. How many were there?
25.
25 of them. So less than $1 each.
Damn.
Not bad.
Not bad.
So I'm sure she'll send this all to Mule and we'll all talk about it. He's going to have a bartender meeting sometime soon, but...
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get on it. Anybody need a link? Yeah, actually, I can't send any links. I don't know why. I should. I'm on my laptop. For some reason, I can't throw any links out.
Right.
Any more questions out there that people wanted to know about or anything?
I will check for you, brother. Hold on.
Since I came in late, Chris, what happened? What's the quick and dirty of it?
Okay, just a quick. Anyone who also is new got there around 12 today. No, absolutely no riot police. No, not even a real heavy police presence. I got there and the police were basically letting anyone drive down the road that was cut off before. That was full of media. They allowed anyone to drive down that road. There was 4, when I first got there, only 4 Border Patrol agents for everyone that was there. I went and did some interviews, tried to get as much as people to talk as possible to see how they felt about everything, and went to the center portion where you can actually see the compound and check out who was there to see, because there was a lot more protesters at the center than there was at the 2 sides like last time. And I went up there, and there was a lot of La Raza, a lot of there was brown berets there. There was more pro-immigration people there than there was anti-immigration people there. They literally outnumbered us, probably realistically 3 to 4 to every pro person there for immigration. There was maybe every one person that was anti, there was at least 3 to 4 more per person of
4 to 1.
Yeah. So the numbers were definitely in their favors of the pro-immigration people. And at one point, tensions got really high between a few people and started screaming and getting each other's faces and pushing each other around. And the police came in and literally started getting hands-on and physically moving people and getting people away from each other. And then
your battery gave out.
Yeah.
Which was like,
oh. Yeah. But like I said, that will be coming soon because my partner still was recording on his iPad. So that is still available footage. It's just going to be at a later date, unfortunately. Hopefully I can get it up tomorrow, if I possibly can. And by the time I had got enough battery back, the police had set up sections to isolate the people from each other and keep them from clashing like that again. And it literally went from 5 cops to maybe 25 to maybe even pushing it to 30 is probably unrealistic, but at least 25.
All right, so I want to answer a few things in the chat room. Ronnie Brown's telling you good work this evening. I'm thinking that's directed towards you, Chris. Joel Sweatman says, Chris, you did an awesome job. Don't worry about haters. You did us all proud, which you did.
Thank you.
Tactical Tony is saying, thanks, Chris. Jay Watt's asking if we're still getting T-shirts made. I don't know if he's asking that of Tactical Tony and his shirts or the Green Dragon.
Tony, jump in, brother. Jump in. Please, you had so much dialogue. Where are you at?
He does have dialogue. And we got Solar Savage. He's going to check out something that Linda talked about for sure. Probably the second Wounded Knee. Solo or Stiloto Nation Warrior. Yes, Chris, that was awesome. So, yeah, man, everybody's giving you mad props for what you did as far as how it looked and how it came out. And, you know, we'll give you props for going down there, but as you said, that's something you thought you needed to do yourself, but we can still give you props on how you pulled it all off.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And like I said, I want to say a big thank you to Poison Stinger because he was the one that brought the attention to me. Hey, I know you give that face, Stink, but you're the reason why I went back and I watched it to see what I did wrong and how I could make it better and more presentable. And just the what's the word I'm looking for? The attention you brought to me was able to make it more enjoyable and a lot easier for everyone else to view.
Yeah, well, pretty soon here we'll have you with a microphone with a little square thing on it and GDTC on it, you know.
Nice. Nice.
I'm sure we can figure out how to do that. I've had cameras in the past, not recently, but back when I was doing my non-political stuff on YouTube, I had a really nice camera that I was doing live hangouts, well, not hangouts, but a live show that I streamed live to my own website back before Google Plus ever was around. And so I know that that's still possible with that camera and the mobile hotspots now. That same setup could be used to do live broadcasts with microphones and the whole bit. I mean, real production value on that, but it's not cheap. The camera that I used back in the day cost $2,000, and
I definitely don't have that kind of money.
Right. Well, I don't either anymore, but I did at one point. So that would be really great to do. Unfortunately, that's definitely, maybe one person could have it, but that's about it. I don't even really know why I went into that whole story, maybe to fill up dead air, but it is what it is. You did great, and even the small handy cams out there, small cameras out there, some of them are getting pretty technologically advanced as well. Pretty soon you'll probably be able to do the same thing with a $300 camera that you can do with a $2,000 camera. So.
Yeah, what I took out of it today was a lot of people who were there to probably do the same thing I was doing to see if it was true about the riot police, which there was none, again, like I said. It was good to see that there was people out there, even on both sides, because you know what? Like Neil was saying earlier, we have a lot in common with those guys, We know it's not the people's fault, it's the government's fault. It's just some people see it as maybe we should help them, and some people see it as maybe we should help ours first. I'm a firm believer in what the Bible says. Take the plank out of your own eye before you try to take it out of your brother's eye. And we've got a massive plank in our eye right now. This country is in bad shape and can't afford a strain. Has nothing.
I think one thing that we could probably agree on is that the children, if you want to call them that, whatever you want to call them, refugees, illegals, children, they are not the main problem in this whole situation. They are the pawns being played in a game with people that are behind the curtain that we don't even really see. I mean, you got the government behind it. You might have corporations behind it. Who knows who's actually behind it? But I hope we can all agree it's not their fault. You know, the kids, it's not the kids' fault. Maybe some of them are actually trying to flee here, you know, because they're scared of what's going down or it's a bad situation where they're from. And maybe there's some that are trying to take advantage of the situation. I'm a firm believer that, yes, in anything kind of like this, in any immigration crisis, you're going to have those people that want to take advantage of the situation and for their own personal agenda, whatever that might be for, you know. But yeah, it's not the kids' fault who are trying to flee anything. And I'm all for them coming into America, but there needs to be a process. They can't just be allowed in and let go.
Very true.
It's unfortunate that they happen to be the straw that's breaking the camel's back finally. What about the rest of the load? You know, that never got looked at, or that did get looked at but never got taken care of. You know, all the backlog shit. Just so much that's just going on, and now we've got a force. You know, they're saying more, you know, because, you know, they pretty much want to take over that whole region. You know, and that's political. That's those political groups. You know, the La Razas and stuff. And we're literally allowing, and this is just my opinion, I'm going to be an asshole and just say what I think. We're literally allowing ourselves to be overturned. We're literally allowing ourselves to be broken. They wanted to break us. That's the whole point. And here we got children, and I don't want the children hurt. I don't want the children shoved back in some shithole country. I would just like the ones that are sick to be treated medically by actual professional doctors if they're going to be in this country, and maybe get rid of some of the, you know, the bad ones. You know, take the load off. You know, ones that don't need to be here. Well, we know for a fact that they're only here, you know, to deal drugs or to escape prison. You know. It's not fair. You know, if I ran to Mexico, you know, trying to evade murder, I'd be caught and deported.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of these
murder charges.
I mean, every single day it seems like on the local news around where I'm at, there's always some sort of death involving an illegal alien that either murdered somebody outright, drunk drived and killed somebody, but there's so many, almost every single day there's at least one report of somebody being killed one way or another by an illegal alien that should have been deported a long time ago and never was.
And I'll admit they're probably a minority, but that minority needs to get, of the quote minority, they need to go. We don't need criminals. We don't need other countries' criminals.
Right.
Very true. We do not need anyone else.
Sorry, Chris. And I'm proud of you for, you know, holding your ground last night. That was great.
Thank you. You know, I just wanted to go there and give out the true story that was happening. You know, not what some damn reporter says is happening. You know, there's what is that? They say a picture could say 1,000 words. Well, video must be worth a fucking billion because it was a completely different story than what these reporters were typing in their little blogs.
Yeah.
And Linda was talking about the third wounded knee. Is that going to happen on the border, over the border, along the border? I'm concerned about that. I really am, because I saw the films of how badly, you know, the people there were treated. You know, the people throwing rocks at children and stuff, man. Calling the natives racist names and shit.
Yeah, that's definitely not a way to treat people. You know, we had an interview live today about a gentleman saying that it's disrespectful because earlier on I believe it was the first day where they did turn around the buses, somebody on the anti side spit on the pro side. And that's absolutely 100% disrespectful. You know, that's something you don't do. To say words to someone else is okay, because you're allowed to do that. But when you assault somebody, that's where you cross the line.
Yeah. If you can't express yourself intelligently, then you need to just go home.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, when it gets to name calling, you basically have no argument. And I'll put in spitting on somebody in that same boat. If you resorted to spitting on somebody, you've lost your argument, and definitely it didn't help any person's side for that to go on.
Yep. Yeah, all bets are off after that. It's on like Donkey Kong.
Thank you, babe.
I was going to take it, but then...
Well, I would consider that trying to start a fight, I mean...
Yeah, I know. I just got spitted on a couple of weeks ago.
On them. They take a swing at you.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Crap.
I told you about that boy in Jamaica when he spitted on me. Little English fuck. No disrespect to the English, but
no, I know quite a few of them that are pretty decent.
Yeah, me too. He called me a
good and bad in every country.
Called me a monk, and he got cut off at the bar, so he got really pissed. And it's hard to get cut off at the bar in fucking Jamaica, really hard. And this little fucker just didn't want to leave. He just, mouthing off, and I told the little guy, I said, look, buddy, you're done. You're cut off. Go somewhere. So he just went on the beach, we're all on the beach, we're all smoking, doing our thing, and he starts getting lippy and called me a monk, and he spit on my face. And then after that, I swung a cinder block at him and knocked his ass out and picked him up and threw him in the fucking beach. How was that? Had a late night swim.
Gotta handle business sometimes, G.
You know me, brother. I don't talk, I just react. That's the problem.
Alcoholism's an ugly thing.
It is. It's also ugly when you talk shit to someone that's twice your size.
That's just stupid. Too much liquid courage washes away all good sense.
I mean, the monk was fine. The fuck you, fine. But when you spit on me, that's, like I said, all bets off.
Hey, Jason Brumsfeld is out in the chat room. He was coming up as spam. Sorry about that, Jason, but I went ahead and unspammed you. We also have Justin Woolley is out there. What's up, Justin Woolley?
Woo!
I think you were in here earlier when Mule was talking. You probably were in here the whole time, but first time I'm seeing you comment.
Can I send a link to Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's get some link to some of those the normal guys that are around in here. That way we can get their point of view on everything today.
I wish I could do some bar back in here, brother, but I am like, my shit's...
I can do it.
Well,
Ronnie Brown. If we can get Ronnie Brown and JB.
I can do it.
Yeah, let's get Ronnie Brown in here. JB. I'm going to have to get with Ronnie Brown later on. You can help me out with this shit. I don't have an invite option on my laptop like I normally do. That's why I didn't get in here with a link. I just went to G Plus and joined.
G.
Yeah. Is there a link to this chat or no?
At the top, G, right there where it says,
Where?
Next to the microphone, there's no invite people right there?
Nah, next to the mic, no.
Mine's not working at all.
I don't even have an invite option, see. Here, let me do this.
Who do you want in?
Get Ronnie Brown and Justin or Jason Brumfield. JB.
Got it.
Thanks, bro.
Right.
See.
What's up, brother?
Go on mute for a minute.
I'm not even seeing Jason.
I got Jason here, but it won't let me select Ronnie for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and send this to Jason.
I can put it in the internal here if you want to then copy it and give it to him that way.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that. I can do that.
That's the link to this chat here in the internal, and
We'll
then
flip one to Ronnie here too.
right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You have to let me know if it works, guys.
Ronnie's in.
Is it?
And I know I sent one to Wooly, so I don't know if he got it or not, but I sent it to him.
I wasn't saying don't bring Wooly in. I'm just thinking about Jason. He gets in a couple times. He don't get to say a whole heck of a lot.
All right. Well, I can't uninvite him.
Oh no, I like Wooly.
I don't see Jason. I know I have him. I'm pretty sure I have him in my circles, but for some reason I'm not seeing him. I think I can do it the old-fashioned way, though. I'm gonna try.
Did you get a link, Justin?
Yeah. There we go. I just did it the old way. Hopefully he'll get that.
Oh, that was just stream. Okay. Let's see what that is.
So, Wooly, you got the link, I think. I mean, it shows that you're not online, but I sent it to you anyway. I don't know if you're invisible or what. If you didn't get it, go ahead and send me an instant message or whoever else is on the panel that can send you a link.
I just sent him one.
There you go. So there's another one. And Tony's in. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Actually, we only have one more spot now. So
HDP.
John, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
What's up, Tay?
Chilling.
I wish you were out there with me, T. You would have made some great video.
Dude, I would have went to prison for fucking strangling one of the Mexicans.
That's what I told him.
I'd have lost it, bro. I was losing it while I was on the phone with you guys.
I know I could hear.
Stop.
I could hear you, brother.
Say hi.
Hi.
Huh?
What's up? What's up, H2O?
We got H2O in the motherfucking hizzy. All we need now is HDP and H2O, and we got shit locked down. Yeah, buddy. I like that shit. I like that shit ice cold, girly.
This guy.
I don't want no fucking hot water up in this bitch. We want that shit cold.
Cold water.
You got it, girlfriend. You got it. That warm water's for Mexicans. They can drink their beer warm and shit. I don't know how they do it.
Where's Mule at?
Went to go get the missus.
Oh.
How was your day, bro? How was the day, yo?
It was cool. It was cool until I seen that video, and then I just was like fucking irate, dude. I just wanted to fucking go down there.
What was that guy saying, yo? What did you make out what that guy was saying in the green?
Well, I could barely hear him because there was like I could hear like part of the interviews Chris was doing, but it was
what was he saying?
And there was a lot of people yelling and shit. But
yeah, they were.
It sounded like he was anti-immigration because he was talking. I could understand he was saying the political system is corrupt and that.
No shit.
He was saying something about
what they're telling you wasn't the truth, and that it needs to be done correct and done right.
Okay. Thanks, brother Glenn.
Yeah, I could hear him saying.
By the way, to Wooly, check your YouTube email.
And
Wooly, check your YouTube email.
And G+.
You know, what I would like to see someday is that there would actually be peace in all these places where people could live in their own hometowns, you know, and have good lives and not have a bunch of shit and not be tormented or ran off. Actually be able to, you know, have a home.
Do shit the right way.
Yeah, and here we have our government pointing us over towards the Middle East and a bunch of shit we don't need to be fooling with, and we got you know our neighbors, you know, geographic neighbors, you know, that you know they just are being ignored, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why have we never helped them restore order in their own land? I mean, I'd rather give them some subsidies and go down there and get some advice and maybe some support. I mean, shit, it would be better for them because you know they would much rather be happy at home. You know, where you're born
Exactly.
and where you're from. You know,
they know their surroundings. They got their fellow people. Their fucking
family.
Hello. Yeah. Home.
I'm just saying, dude. Off the record, we're off the record, right? Off the record, we need to go to war with them motherfuckers. Fuck them all, dude. I mean, if they can come into our country with them fucking uniforms on and them fucking dirty ass fucking flags, they should be lynched using Mexican flags. Fuck them.
Under the military code of uniform code of justice, anybody who enters the nation in an enemy uniform waving a foreign flag is a soldier, enemy soldier, and you can shoot him on sight.
Well, yeah, and that's what it's come to. You know, all these wild extremist political movements and stuff would never needed to get started if shit wasn't so fucked up. I'm not excusing them, but I'm just saying it's just, you know, it's a causality.
Well, I got a video coming on it. I'm hoping I'll probably get it done tomorrow, but fuck them, dude. I'm gonna call them out. Fuck them racist piece of shits. They don't like this fucking country. Fuck them. Go back. You know what I mean? That's that.
They're burning and they burn our flag.
That's the same shit as white power. You know what I mean? That's the same shit as white power.
Pretty much.
We really don't have a choice at this point, you know?
Alright, guys, I'm going to bounce for a little bit since there's a couple other dragons in here, and that way I'll leave room for another panel member if Wooly wants to get in. Once again, Justin Wooly, check your G+, check your YouTube email. Should be there somewhere. And I'll probably pop in again later on. Talk to you guys in a bit.
All right. See you later, Ross.
Take care. And make no mistake, they're going to wage war on us. It's not like we're shooting first. They already took the shots. They were going to wage war on our way of life, our culture, anything that's not what they want. And what culture they're bringing is not even the traditional family Mexican culture, which is wonderful. It's a thuggish gang. Kind of almost an occultic type culture with beheadings and weird fucking ritual killings. It's just not pretty boy land.
I don't know what we're waiting for, dude. We're already fucking targeted. A lot of fucking people got us on their targets, man.
I mean, if you look at the tweets that they're putting out, it's like some bitch says fuck Murrieta, shit is 10 minutes away. It's filled with ignorant ass people. A la chingada, which is like, fuck them, more or less. And then somebody else wrote, I'm going to go put white people in their place. It said another one, I'm hoping the cartel comes over, or I'm hoping the cartel crosses over and blasts racist white people. They're fucking kids. We're all the same.
Oh.
I mean, if you look at the shit that...
Fuck white people in the same sentence. Come on now. That's bullshit.
If you see the shit that these fools are putting up, it's racist as fuck.
And that's what I'm talking about, Tony. That's what disturbs me. I don't care about the flag thing. My mind's not programmed that way. But when I watch them doing exactly what Jason just said, they're coming here to infiltrate, and they're coming here to wage a cultural war. That's what La Raza means. We do what's good for the race. So I think it's time for human beings to start standing up and start doing what's good for their race.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with Tony more, because especially if you're a veteran, you have a huge fucking bullseye. And I hope HDP sees that link too. I don't know if he's seen that or not. But an Army Ranger, he's been in the Army since fucking Vietnam. He's seen it all. 9 combat tours, the whole 9 yards, Green Beret. He did a video of a speech, and he's doing more speeches. He's basically tell it all. He's basically come forward, flat out said the reason why he left the Army, and is telling all. And he is a retired sergeant major. That's a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
A sergeant major. I mean, if you're not in the Army,
it's
you
time
don't
to take
understand
the
what that
gloves off,
means.
man. It's
Before
time
we
to take
get
the gloves
fucking
off.
hit, they're gonna hit us again, dude. Fucking Mohammeds are gonna, they're fucking scheming, dude.
I'm not worried about the Mohammeds. I'd be more worried about Obama letting them fucking racist pieces of shit, them fucking traitors, coming over here and doing just like they did today. They didn't want to fucking talk to Chris. They didn't want to say nothing to Chris because they're fucking pieces of shit. You know what I mean? They're not going to talk to somebody who's fucking white or something like that. If some fucking El Telemundo or something came out there, they'd be running their mouths. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Well,
fuck Mexico.
From the sounds of it, it looks like this is going to kind of help push some type of collapse. And in the next fucking 9 months, basically, we're all going to see if this is going to come true or not. It's not like we have to wait long. In the next 9 months, basically, we're going to see the entire collapse of Canada, America, and Mexico in North America. That's what they're pushing for. 2 generals have already come forward and said so. A sergeant major's telling all, saying so. And unfortunately, it looks like 75% of the current United States Army will go along with gun confiscation and shooting on the American people. I am fucking sick to my stomach, man.
Just a quick little update. The InfoWars crew has finally made their way out.
Oh, wow.
To the
wow.
Murrieta protest. So, Alex Jones, eat your heart out, buddy. I've been there a lot longer than you have.
They came at they came at a good time. Good time.
Well, they've been down at the Texas border because it's right there in their backyard. I don't know, man. People need to put their game faces on. I mean, it's going to be an all-out war. It's not going to be, you know what I mean? It's not going to be defined. I mean, it might be a couple defined sides, but I think it's going to be from every direction possible.
It's going to be fucking chaos, brother.
You think there's going to be riots? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be riots somewhere, you know.
Well, I didn't expect basically for the, you know, the Mexican race or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves. Right. I didn't expect to see that. I was blown away by that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know that right there. That's where we're at.
Oh yeah.
Holy
no
shit!
Doubt.
They had berets on and everything, man.
What, JB?
They had berets on and everything. If I was in uniform standing there seeing that, I would be like, those are fucking enemy soldiers.
Exactly.
Yeah. You'd be ready. It'd be go time.
It would absolutely have been go time. Foreign flag, foreign uniform, all shit. Pop, pop.
Get you going. Gets the budget going, doesn't it?
And under international law, under American law, and under military law, it'd be a legal shoot. I mean, that's how over the line that shit is, and it's just being allowed. It's not a protest. Certain things are fucking crossing the line.
Exactly. Yeah, we were talking about that the other night, JB.
Where is Wooly? Why hasn't he jumped in yet?
Stanger sent him a link. He's got the link.
I'm real worried. I'm real worried because I had no idea how far that fucking immigration policy had gone with the military. Essentially, if you do what you're told and you serve like a good little boy and you go shoot people, you get a free citizenship like candy. I mean, they're just handing them out, and they're not doing proper screening on who they're taking in. So, I mean, basically they've got huge. I mean, that's why they were freaking getting rid of all the good old boys. That's why they've been purging the military so bad. They're replacing them with immigrants.
The thing is once they go out and serve their little time, they're going to allow their families to come up with them as well.
I don't think so. I think that family shit is all bullshit to cut at our heartstrings. Think about who's telling us this. The mainstream media and the government, I don't trust them for 1 second.
No,
Who's
I don't
putting
either.
the people on these buses? Who's down there picking who gets to come up through the border? The southern border in Mexico, that thing is Gestapo land. And they're letting people through. Who are they letting through? I mean, come on. And then we've got a government that spent the past 3 decades openly trying to destroy the family. You think they're going to put families together up here? No, they want them dependent and servants of the state. I don't buy any of this shit, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, essentially what they're doing here is what they did, what the CIA did with Al Qaeda overseas. I mean, they are literally in the beginning process of going full-on destabilization of all the North American region to bring in the North American Union. The South and the northern borders are being destabilized, and it's going to be made wide open, and they're going to try and form the North American Union. It's going to be ugly.
Does anyone want to do a shout out to the room?
I can't see external, so.
What's up, JB? Anybody got it open? I don't have my shit open. Actually, I can. Give me a sec.
Just trying to fill in that dead air, you know.
No worries, brother. I'm trying to get it right now.
Viewers.
We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Speaking of regional and national unions, isn't Sweden partially under Sharia law now?
Sweden?
I hadn't heard anything about that.
Yeah, they're part of the European Union. Yeah, they've had a very, very, very liberal immigration policy for quite a while now. Supposedly, like 60 to 70% of the rapes and murders that occur in Sweden are from immigrants.
Oh yeah, well they've already done the whole border collapse pretty much in Europe.
It is. There's Justin.
I mean,
yeah, when I was
over there, you know.
When I was in Germany for 300 euros, I was able to get what's called a Euro Pass, and essentially I could go on the train anywhere in Europe I wanted to. So while I was recovering, I took advantage of that. I'd get on the train and just take it all over the place just to see what I could see. It was only 300 euros at the time. I think it was like 250 bucks, and I could go all over Europe. They don't really have a border.
Yeah, I mean the European Union is a bunch of nation states essentially that got collapsed and coaxed in under the euro. It was a convenience thing. That's what it was sold on. Is well, there's too many currencies and this and that exchange rates, whatever. So we'll make one central bank or currency for the European Union and bring everyone together, and then they wreck the borders.
So let me ask Jason and Justin, since they're fresh in here. How do you guys? I don't know if you guys watched the video. What did you perceive of it today? How did you guys think it went?
I need to catch that video actually. Your channel. What's the title of your channel?
No, it's actually on the Green Dragon Tavern chats.
Thank you, because I went there. I didn't see you. Appreciate that, Chris.
Right
No
on.
worries. What about? It sounds like Jason was watching it. What did you think of it, Jason?
Made my stomach sick, man. Just to see that level of organization, I think it's the same kind of thing that hit the pit of the stomach for Tony. You see that level of organization. Clearly, they were dispatched there to fucking protest, and then the numbers thing too. I mean, I know it's California, but fuck, I don't know. It's disheartening, man. I'm watching the slow collapse of even the fucking veil of a supposed America. I mean, they're not even pretending anymore.
Yeah, we were definitely, like I said, very much outnumbered. As were on the 4th, we were not outnumbered. We outnumbered them bar none.
I mean,
yeah,
they must have
they're
had.
there on our dime.
Dude, if I see
ahead,
if I seen an MS-13 gang member, I would shoot them in their fucking face.
Yeah, I'm fucking tired of them motherfuckers.
I would fucking end their fucking pitiful lives. Fuck them. I'm seeing the photos of the motherfuckers that are coming in all fucking tattooed fucking fuck them motherfuckers, dude.
Stick their machetes up their ass.
Yeah, look at the left forearm on every fucking one of them. 13.
Yeah.
You know? And that's just the photos that we're seeing of some of the shit. That's actually some of the protesters had a 13 on them.
That was me.
Yep, that's what we got to deal with. I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
I mean, they must have had some help. I mean, they don't get all uniformed out and everything like that and show up there en masse without help.
Oh yeah, I've helped put militias together. It's a lot of work. I mean, the badge selection, the color selection, the berets, the uniform, the organization. The fucking guy had. I can tell when somebody has their shit pressed. It was fucking pressed. It was ironed. I mean, that's some organized shit. That's.
People should be ready to go to war right now. This is bullshit. I mean, flat out, we should fucking be taking it to them. Make Texas a little bit bigger.
I can see holdout states. That's about it now. I can see a few holdout states maybe holding on, and the rest is just gonna fucking collapse. I'm sorry for you guys in California. I really hope you can get the hell out.
Oh
Dude,
yeah, California.
it's too late, bro. The boat is sunk. And I'm just trying to get air.
I mean,
the crazy part is like, you know, Americans, I'm not saying all, but for the most part are fucking stupid as fuck, because you had these fucking hippie bitches out there fucking protesting on the side of them racist fucks. You know what I mean? If it was up to those fucking La Raza motherfuckers, you know, if they were in a fucking knew they could get away with it, they would have raped that fucking white chick and left her for fucking dead, and she doesn't even realize that because she's so fucking stupid. You know what I mean?
All day.
They want the fucking white race to be extinct. I mean,
let me tell you what they would have done, because this needs to sink into people. I don't think they understand how fucking sick it can get. I've actually been to Honduras. They would have raped her, okay? And then they would have slid out the bottom of her tits and let her bleed out that way. And it takes about 3 hours. That's the type of sick fucks these are.
exactly. Dude, I know. I grew up around that bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm always been the fucking race traitor and this, that, and the other, because I think that's bullshit. You know what I mean? I've had it even since I started the YouTube. I'm a race traitor. I'm a fucking dirty half-spick motherfucker. This, that, and the other, because I don't fucking agree with flying a fucking Mexican flag. Dude, I've been called every name under the sun for not going along with that shit.
If Mexico's so fucking great, what are they doing here?
Because Mexico is a shithole. Mexico is full of cockroaches. That's what the fuck it is. All them motherfuckers are is dirty, fucking, stupid motherfuckers. If it's so fucking great, you know, they're all fucking illiterate. You know what I mean? You got Mexico City where you got the people with money, and then outside of Mexico City, everybody's a fucking poor, fucking illiterate motherfucker. You know what I mean? They kill their own people. They slaughter the fuck out of their own people. You know what I mean? I don't see what's so great about that. Why the fuck would I hold up a fucking dirty-ass Mexican flag? Why?
You want to come here, cool. Pick up an American flag, learn about some freedom, and fucking enjoy. But you come here to basically be a foreign invader? Well, okay, I'm sorry, but it's on. And I think I'm in my right to you know, defend my country and my people and my oath. Am I not?
You could lynch them motherfuckers with them fucking Mexican flags. That's how I feel about it, dude. I'm so angry. I'm fucking beside myself on how I feel about seeing that video today. I'm glad that Chris was able to show that, because I had no idea that was going on.
I had no clue, man. I had no fucking clue.
Hey, Tony, let me ask you this, bro. Do you feel like I let you down because I didn't say something?
No, you're good. You know me, though. I'm a fucking...
I know you, brother.
I can't shut the fuck up when it comes to shit like that.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring... Because the first thing the first thing the media would have did was immediately put the film on me and broadcasted that out to the world. Said, look at all these crazy right-wing people.
I tell you one thing, this makes me want to move to Arizona even more because that's going to be the battlefield. That's going to be the front line. It's stuck in a pincer move right now. It's got California on one side, Nevada and Texas, and no, New Mexico. I mean, most of everybody around fucking Arizona is basically fallen. Even Texas is basically gone to shit. The Texans should kind of be ashamed. No, not trying to piss anybody off.
I'm almost starting to wonder if whatever actions that we take need to be taken on two fronts, because yeah, they're securing the borders, but we're just going to get more of the same in different areas and different escalated stuff, and they're just going to bring in more craziness if we don't deal with the root cause. You know, the congressmen, senators, House members, the cabinet, you know, just everything else that kind of brings this stuff down. You know, the people that pull their strings, which are still being identified. That's kind of tricky, identifying the actual corporate owners of the government structure that we have now. But I mean, we can fight all the little brush fires that they create all day long, but you know, I mean, they're just going to wear us out with this kind of shit.
That's the point of it. It's how you wear the enemy down. It's the same thing in guerrilla warfare. When you strike, it's not one unit striking here. It's 50 units striking in 50 different locations over 50 different states. You know, that's how guerrilla warfare works. You don't just, it's not just the 1 or 2 man team making their strike. It's a 1 or 2 man team coordinating with 50 other 1 or 2 man teams, and they all strike at the same time to sow chaos and disorder. At the same time, they're trying to, you know, secure some objective.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing they're doing to us. I mean, like, they're coming back on the Bundys now, right? Plus, you still got the shit going on, which I'm going to try to hit home for that with the Lakota. I owe it to Russell Means on that one. So I'm going to try to help with that. That's close by for me. It's all over the place.
There was like a saying, I think it was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and it was like, I think it was the saying was like, must not sleep, must warn others under the invaders, something. I can't remember the rest, but like, dude, that's serious. Like, I mean, fuck, dude, must not sleep, must warn others under the invaders. You know what I mean? Like, this is fucking insane, man. I mean, are people so fucking dosed up with chemtrails and shit that they won't even fucking, when their country is being invaded, they won't even fucking stand up? Everybody's got an excuse.
Nothing is above themselves anymore. That's the problem, man. People are so self-centered, so fucking selfish and narcissistic. If it doesn't, everybody is their own center of the universe now. I mean, it's really started to kind of sink in on me recently that literally it's got that bad. Everybody's their own little fucking center of the universe, and it's me, and I, and mine. And they don't see the big picture. They can't see past that little narrow perspective. And so they don't give a shit about the nation. They don't give a shit about anything except for their own fucking backyard until somebody's pissing in their backyard and they want help. But there's nobody to help because everybody else says, no, that's not my backyard, fuck you.
I think part of how that came about to the degree that it has is the destruction of, you know, personal unity between people. I mean, it used to be, you know, you want to have a conversation with somebody, you know, you go over there, hang out with them, have a good old time. But now it's, you know, it's not even a personal phone call anymore. You know, you're not even hearing voices hardly ever. People run around texting each other. Yeah. You know, it's almost like a digital invasion of humanity to the point where
isolationism.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, it's also the corruption from banks giving all this fiat credit away. So everybody's on the strive to have more than the Joneses. And before you know it, you're not able to even raise your children because both parents are doing 12, 15 hours a day just to make ends meet.
Absolutely. Well, that's another thing too. The whole, you know, they're strangling us economically, you know, and people are trying to, you know, people are trying to hold down 2-3 jobs to make ends meet, and a lot of people, they literally are a slave to the 9 to 5 to the degree where it's hard to mount any real offensive.
And people, yeah, I don't know who mentioned it, but people have no empathy. I mean, no empathy. Like my little sister, she did it to me, I think it was a couple of years ago. She texted me happy birthday, and I called her back and chewed her ass out. And I said, really? I mean so little that you can't get on the phone to your big brother and say, hi, how you doing? I mean, a freaking text, and I mean, if she didn't mean anything by it, but she didn't even think about it because it becomes so automatic for people. There's no empathy. Look at somebody's getting their ass beat on the side of the road, and people don't even pull their phones out to call 911. They pull it out to record it and laugh.
Did you guys see what GDTC stands for?
No, what is it, Tony?
Green Dragon Terrorist Cell.
It's too funny.
That's pretty good.
I don't feel like a terrorist.
Yeah, they're gonna label me one. I know it.
Oh yeah, I mean we're domestic terrorists for sure. Harry Reid will tell you that.
We're domestic terrorists, but the fucking La Raza motherfuckers, what are they? Oh, those will be called patriots, right?
Oh,
No, they're domestic tourists.
Yeah, they're humanitarian. They're humanitarian. They're humanitarians.
That's where Harry Reid was slipping up. See, they're the domestic tourists. They're just they're just chilling, checking stuff out, and we're the domestic terrorists now. And we're terrorizing these poor people, trying to stop them from enjoying our shit. How dare we?
Oh yeah. Oh, heaven forbid we stop them from their racist invasion.
I mean, we should have signs on our front doors. We should be inviting them in. We should open our fridge up and let them take whatever's left. I mean, they should be using our shitters and everything.
Oh yeah, I mean that burglar down the street with that black ski mask. I think I need to invite him in, and I think I need to give him a box of ammo. A nice cold one, and whatever else. No borders. It's not like I have a front door or anything.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind helping to freaking arm and train the South Central gangs, because I think the Crips and the Bloods are more manly than our own Border Patrol. They stand up to the MS-13 bastards.
Well, that's one thing, too. A lot of people have gotten very soft. This whole cushy lifestyle we've been living, throughout the 80s and 90s and whatever else, people are not used to having to fight for theirs. And deal with this kind of stuff, and people are having kind of a rude awakening to, harden up and, become battle ready. It's been a chore for me. Hell, I was asleep 3 years ago, sitting there freaking drinking too much soda and playing video games too many hours of the day, didn't have a clue what the hell's going on. I didn't have a gun. I had an interest in guns, but I had never actually, put in the footwork and got one. I had a little pellet rifle. And as soon as I saw what's going on, I'm like, damn, I better harden up. I got to arm up. I got to figure out what's going on around here. And it's just a matter of time before I'm either going to have to or be ready with certain implements to put in work. I've been trying to fit a certain plan of action, which is not reckless, but it's getting to the point where we're getting backed into a corner, and we almost don't have the time to strategize with specific, and really coordinated plans of action, which really sucks. I was hoping it could be a lot more coordinated than this.
The problem with anytime you have any type of centralization is used as a weapon. Like Saddam Hussein, right? He had a decentralized military structure, which is ideal. It's what you want. It's like why you set up a checkerboard defense. And unfortunately, he was an idiot, and he said, oh, we'll listen to you guys. I think it was like 88 or 89. He switched over to a centralized defense network. And when he switched everything over to, centralized radar command, centralized, SATCOM, everything. And basically, we were able to go in with strategic bombing and shut him down in 72 hours. So when you centralize shit, it's the same with any type of movement. If you centralize it, it's easier for them to co-op. It's easier for them to infiltrate. That's why I always stress, just stick with small groups, and when the time comes, you can unite. but it makes it way harder. I mean, if you have 500 five-man groups, it's really hard to infiltrate all those. But if you put them all together, well, you only need 2 or 3 provocateurs to control that large group now.
Well, that's true though, and when I say organized, I don't necessarily mean have a mass of people that are centralized like that. I mean like planning stuff like that, different tactics. There's a video I put out a little while ago now called "A Good Plan for Ending Tyrants Part 1," and it's a little bit more unique. It's something that really could hurt the system, but I personally don't have the tools required to implement such a plan, and it really would. It's actually the plan itself is designed around a very small unit. Matter of fact, a 6 or 8 man team could pull it off, and it would be devastating for the establishment. I mean, I'll link it here for you guys.
The thing is, though, like, war has already been declared on us. I mean, if they have fucking already declared war on us, then what is stopping Americans from joining up? Or I mean, I just don't understand. I guess I don't understand how we go into Iraq, we go into Afghanistan, motherfuckers start fucking shit up from day one. They start fucking shit up, but you have invaders come over here. I mean, we're getting hit from every fucking corner by invaders, and yet nobody is doing the same, and we're supposedly more united. We're supposedly a way deep or history rich. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying, but our history is so much more deep and more rich or whatever than any of these motherfuckers. Yeah, Afghanistan, Iraq been around forever, this, that, and the other, but they never been united under one banner for so long that. Go ahead.
We need a Clive Bundy, man. We need another Clive Bundy. See, the thing is, right, is there's people ready, and there's people that'll move in from wherever they can in their local area, but there needs to be some type of media awareness to put a spotlight on it. It doesn't have to be big media, but there has to be something I mean, like the stuff with the Lakota. I had no clue, and I like to keep up on Indian affairs, and I still had no freaking clue. I was really bummed. I was like, holy shit, all this going on? Really? Nobody knows what the fuck's going on to be able to help.
How did in Iraq and Afghanistan was it word of mouth? I mean, were they watching the news? I mean, how did it work in Iraq and Afghanistan?
Okay, in Afghanistan they had word of mouth, right? It was like the village talk. They knew we were coming down the road. That you could hear the choppers from miles away. Most of our bases, most of our LPOPs, most of the flight paths were the same as the Russians, right? So it wasn't even a challenge for them. They knew you sit a couple of guys up on a hill, and they don't even have to have advanced communications. People don't really think anymore, right? They can travel with signal mirror a message 3-4 miles. You got a guy sitting up there on a hill, and he can signal mirror down to that village, hey, convoy coming in, and then word of mouth spreads, and boom, we get there, and there's nothing to find. There's no Taliban. There's no nothing.
Well, when I mean, maybe to us, ex-military guys, dude, I could hear helos coming, miles away before they ever get here, and when they're they have a very distinct fucking sound to them. They don't sound like commercial helicopters at all,
And those really, really quiet helicopters, right? They use a special carbon fiber rotor. They're extremely expensive, and when they have that carbon fiber rotor, it reduces their load capacity. That's why they're used for special operations. They can only drop a 5-man team, for example. That carbon fiber rotor reduces their load capacity. It reduces the strain they can put on the rotors themselves. They're not nice, strong steel rotors anymore. That's how those work. So those stealth, quote-unquote, stealth helicopters, there's not tons of those everywhere, and they're strategically used.
Yeah, that's what I went to school for, advanced composite material repair and shit. So
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was my specialty. That was my C school. So I just when it comes to helos, I can hear them fucking miles away before they ever show up. And then when they do show up, nobody's even looking into the sky. They're so fucking programmed.
It's hard enough just to show people the massive trails left behind by the planes nowadays. Yeah, it's a total clusterfuck.
There's no situational awareness. Everybody's looking at these tiny little screens. Nobody's looking around them what's going on. Nobody's paying attention to what's going on anymore. It's really sad. I don't think there is a way to change it. I think it's too far gone now.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this next generation is screwed. If this generation can't pull it off, this next generation's gone. They got their texting, they got their video games, they got freaking Common Core, they got their chemtrails, their fluoride, their GMO. The borders getting opened up on them before they even know what the hell's going on. You know, they got DHS and the UN invasion setting up. You got drones overhead already. I mean, if we don't end it here, they're straight fucked, and that's 100% guaranteed.
Dude, I fucking know. I mean, I have little kids, dude, and you know, to think that they don't have no future, dude, it fucks me up, man. I mean, I got to have a good childhood growing up in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, I remember when the Gulf War went down and shit, and me thinking as a kid, you know, I was like, damn, this is fucked up, but I still had a good childhood, you know. Now everything's fucked up and the kids are in a bubble, but that bubble's getting ready to be burst at any moment, you know.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that people, especially here, and people will tell me all the time, well, the Air Force Base is here, and it's like, so? If you fucking lived here, you would know that they never, ever, ever fucking flew sorties over the city. The base is in the very, very corner of the city. There's still nothing over there but military housing, and they would turn up north. They would never, ever do sorties over the city. Now they're doing sorties every fucking day over the strip, over downtown. I see them doing drills at the mall. I see them fucking driving military trucks up and down the freeways, up and down the streets. You know, you got to fucking there was a big outcry because of the military installation they put next to the freeway on one of the exits out of town. So they finally had to name it, and it's all of a sudden it's a U.S. Army Reserve Center, you know. And it's like there's no fucking Army bases even in Nevada as far as I fucking know, you know. Now we need an Army Reserve Center right there on the fucking way out of town, you know. I mean, people don't put two and two to fucking together. They can't figure it out. They can't figure out that this shit is not normal. And I don't know if it's because I was in the military and that I know what a fucking H-60 is, what an H-60 is used for. You know, I'm not totally sure what they use it in all branches of the military, but in the Navy they used it for fucking special operations and they used it for fucking hunting submarines. You know, an H-60, they use it to they'll load it up with torpedoes and they'll hunt submarines with it, or they'll fucking fly in Navy SEALs. You know what I mean? There was no good part about, you know, no humanitarian fucking part about the H-60, you know?
The Air Force version is an electronic surveillance platform. Basically, they're sucking up everybody's cell phone traffic, everybody's fucking Wi-Fi traffic, everybody's communications. Anything they can suck up is what they're doing. That's all it does. It's in a surveillance platform.
Yeah, I mean, the next thing, fucking H-53s will be fucking flying over, you know, gunships will be fucking flying over this city. And that's another helo I worked on. I worked on fucking 53s, which people would call, I guess, the Pavlo. I worked on H-60s, which they call Blackhawks in most branches. I worked on H-46s, which are what the fuck you call them? The Marines use them. I can't even think.
Sea Knights. They're the Sea Knights, and for you guys instead of the Black Hawk, I think it was the Seahawk.
Yeah, Sea Knights in the Navy. But the goddamn 46s. Why can't I think of what the 46s are called?
That's the Sea Knight, bro. The twin rotor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
No,
Sea Knight, and then the Seahawks were instead of the Blackhawks. Because you guys never had any Chinooks.
Yeah,
The
yeah, that's what they
47s?
call them. Yeah, they call them Chinooks, but they were 46s in the Navy. That's what they called them.
Yeah, those things suck. Fucking.
Yeah, we
sitting there
used
and
them a lot.
he's
Though.
like, oh, don't mind that hydraulic leak. It's okay.
I was in when we used H3s. I don't even know what the fucking proper name for the H. They phased the H3s out. But I worked on Tomcats. I worked on fucking Hornets. I worked on EA6Bs, which is a radar scrambler. I worked on E2 Hawkeyes, which is fucking surveillance, and AWACS, early warning detection, all that bullshit. I was on the boat, so I worked on fucking everything, but and I was at war. Like, we were at war, so I got an idea of what everything is used for in wartime, and now I see them flying that shit over my city, and I just can't believe it, man. I just.
Hey, I want to ask somebody something. Hey there, Pat. In the external, got an external link out there, guy. So I don't know what that's all about. Got 28 viewers on the GDTC. Okay. But I don't know what the link is there out there in the external, so it might have something to do with the topic, but I don't know how to read links without hitting them, and I'm not going to hit it.
Yeah, I remember when we first went into Iraq, we were the first battle group there. So all the pilots came back with fucking skull and crossbones all up and down their jets for every kill they had. You know what I mean? It's real. When you're there, that shit is real, and you can't describe it to nobody. You can't explain it to nobody, no matter how hard you try. It's intense. And I can only imagine if you're infantry or on the ground how much more intense it has to be, In fact, I can't imagine.
Oh, that's kind of why I like to stress to people to just, chill out. The fight will get here soon enough. Trust me, you don't want it here yet. I mean, enjoy any creature comforts you possibly can, right? Because when you're in the field and your fucking nuts itch nonstop because you got sweaty fucking balls and you're fucking tired as fuck and your food sucks and you never have enough water and every now and then somebody takes a shot at you and fucking spackles a whole bunch of concrete off the side of your face, it sucks.
Yeah.
Very true.
I don't want to. I don't know. I think it's hard to like when with so much emotion and passion to actually explain how you feel or explain how you want shit to happen without coming off. I think because I think I know how I come off. I come off as I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's go. But I think it's more out of frustration and passion and just, what I mean, being scared for my kids and shit like that, why I come off the way I do. But, you know what I mean? I've been there and, I don't know, man. It's not fun, I was a kid too, so, I guess it was hard to, hard to convey that how you think and feel about that shit without coming off as being arrogant or something.
As bad as war is, what's coming is going to be worse.
Oh yeah, I mean, you guys should see how the UN is coming together. The UN, I mean, DHS is basically going to be a short-term problem. The UN is a long-term problem. I'm going to drop a link on that right now. The UN is absorbing a lot of armies right now.
There's some slummy bastards too, man. They won't stand up for nothing that you expect them to, and then they're getting their nose into shit they got no business in.
You want to know how
Oh
crazy?
yeah. Oh, those people have no allegiance to anything sacred.
How crazy shit is right now? I actually heard a story today where people were talking about Obama and all these so-called gun grabbers, this, that, and the other, are actually preparing America for the invasion that's coming because, you know, we have the massive debt and everything, and basically they've scared the American public and everything like that to arm up because they know we're going to be invaded. And basically they're trying to say, like, Obama is really a good guy, that he's really doing everything he's doing to arm the public to the teeth to get ready for what's coming. The UN and everybody coming to collect in on their debt. So that's
how do you got to get to believe that?
That was a story I was told today. Yeah.
I don't know if there's any kind of drugs that'll make you see things that distorted. Maybe some mushrooms or something. I don't know.
They just need to get introduced into the three major false flags that were used to try and take our guns. I mean, where were they at when they had Piers Morgan flapping his mouth on TV for a good 3 months, hardcore, trying to push for pretty much a complete disarmament? I mean, of any weapons that would be of any use, at least.
Had to go get my gun, dude. There's a big ass Rottweiler running around.
Uh-oh.
I got that damn blue helmet.
Good luck. Hey, take care, guys. I've got to head out. I'm actually going to go meet up with a buddy and do some more fishing.
Enjoy yourself, man.
Have a good one. Take care, Jason.
See you later.
All right, bro. Later.
At this point, it's actually become work. It's not really fishing anymore.
Are you filling the freezer?
Yeah, we've got half a freezer full so far.
Yeah, it's the season, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the reds are running pretty good. But when you're filleting out 20 fish a day, it's kind of work.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Take care, guys, and thanks for listening.
All right, take care.
I'll talk to you later, bro.
Send him a box of Old Bay and some lemon pepper. He's got a lot of fish there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cornmeal.
I don't know, man. I don't like. I don't think that. I don't know. I don't like to say that everybody should have joined the military or should have been in the military at one time, but I think that, like, people that were in the military and the vets, like, you don't really have to sell them on shit because, you know what I mean? They see the signs. I mean, people may see the helicopters and see this, that, and the other and think, wow, that's not normal. That could be bad. But, you know, the vets and shit, they know that it's way worse than you think. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they know a military invasion when they see one.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I remember when we went from training and doing sorties and shit, and sorties is flying missions, you know, and I remember how much it escalated when war was actually declared. We went from doing a certain amount of sorties to quadrupling, maybe more than that. It went through the roof. It went from, you know, flying only at night when we were training, or just flying in the day when we were training, to flying nonstop, flying 24/7. And that's what's happened out here. It went from, you know, just seeing them in the daytime or whatever to it's constant now. They're constantly flying missions. And they're doing it they're doing it over the strip, they're doing it over downtown, they're doing it over the mall, you know, they're doing it fucking everywhere. And that is going from training to, you know, war or preparing for war.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a military purge not too long ago, and it seems like it's been full speed ahead ever since that.
Yeah, what do you mean by the purge on the military deal, Jay?
Yeah, there was. We had some higher ups that had leaked some nuke transfers that were not legit. And after that, the system realized that they had some loose cannons that they didn't want to have to deal with. And next thing you know, there's a whole bunch of stories coming out about what we had. Like, what was it like? There were like 3 or 4. Some top people. They were just dropping top people left and right. I forget titles and names, but you can look up military purge. You'll get some info on that.
Right. You had me thinking about back when they closed the military bases. For me, it's been, I don't know, a long time ago when he did it. I think it was under Clinton. That sort of upset me. I've always been the stand on bringing guys back home and putting them to work on the borders anyways. You know, I've been that way long before the situation came down. And before the 2003 invasion and all that.
Infantile behavior 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for their entire.
But yeah, you know, on the purge thing, you seem to be, you know, I know you're right, but what catches me on that is, and it's been a long time since we've seen big head higher ups, like, you know, way up the rankings, like you're talking about, like Petraeus, all this, you know, the high rollover that we have on the top end of the military now. When stuff starts going awry, if it's a good guy or if it's a bad guy or whatever in the military, they seem to bail a lot now. They'll resign or get out pretty quick, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know Janet Napolitano resigned from Homeland Security when she was taking a lot of flack for involvement in Operation Fast and Furious and a couple other things. General Carter Ham, the old establishment 4-star general, got out during Benghazi Gate. Yeah, I mean, whenever they'll commit a whole bunch of crimes or be involved, and then they'll jump ship, you know, or we'll have legitimate people in there that are trying to work for us, and then they get found out, and then the system tries to, you know, get rid of them.
Yeah, you know, I think on the good ones, if not being shoved out like you're talking about, I think, you know, they see the writing on the wall and they don't want no part of it, maybe, or whatever, and they step down, you know. And I'm just, good point about the purge and stuff like that, but it just brings to my mind that never in my lifetime, for the past, since 2003 that I can think of, all the high rollover on it, that's all I was thinking of. But I'd much rather have our troops here guarding borders. You know, I can care less about paying active troops because I'm proud to do that. You know, I don't care about my dollar being spent for somebody that's in the service. I'll buy them a meal if I can right now, but I'd rather see them here helping out than being over somewhere else. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of areas here where we need help, and I mean, I would kind of like to see the military find a way to, you know, for the good ones in there, I think they need to hold their ground and find a way to work their position to their advantage and to the advantage of everyone, instead of bailing. It's a shame that I don't know how hard they're making it for people to work from the inside. I'm assuming it's pretty hard, so I don't know, but it would seem that if they could, that would be the place to be, from the inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, I remember my chain of command and how far it went up when I was in. And I can only imagine once you get in the higher ups of officers, this, that, and the other. It's all a mess, because even once you report it to somebody or you got your feelings about something, you still always seem to have somebody above that you got to go to in your chain of command, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know about 4 stars and stuff like that, but it's been proven here recently that no matter what we do, that even in the military, for those guys, when they try to come right, it gets squashed on the floor by the executive.
Well, that's just it, and I know a lot of people think that Congress and the presidency are frontmen, and they are, but at the same time, the current powers they have, good people need to be installed in those positions. For instance, and this is straight from former General 4-star General Carter Ham, in the video I watched, which kind of exposed that he was a CFR person. He said openly that to become any star general, to become a general, and even some of the lower levels just before that, the presidency and the Congress sign off on their career. You don't get there unless you're installed there, by the government essentially.
Right.
And when we have people like Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz recently is starting to look real sketchy. And Feinstein and the rest of these. I mean, literally, Congress is owned right now by a whole bunch of, criminals.
Yeah, Cruz. You see stuff peeking through the charade, the skin, the facade, the mask. It just and once you start noticing it, it's hard to not pay attention. The same thing with Rand Paul, man. I started seeing through him. It really started upsetting me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ted Cruz's wife is Goldman Sachs. I figured out from a subscriber. I verified that information. He's going with the whole humanitarian line with the alien invasion, complete party line on that. And I went back and even listened to his scolding of Eric Holder with the drone thing, and I listened really carefully because I was a big fan of that speech he gave. But, in light of recent things regarding him, I look back into it, and the way he worded it, it was like, well, if it's for dealing with domestic terrorists, then yeah, use them, but you almost have to read between the lines with some of these guys. They're not all out front and in your face like Dianne Feinstein and Lindsey Graham sometimes.
Yeah, you have to think about what the holes they're leaving for what things could be.
Oh yeah.
Carter Ham, was he the guy that was with the Wall Street, or was he the Occupy Washington one?
He was a former 4-star general, and I got to looking into him when he was referenced for the recent Civil War supposed call to arms thing, which I posted because it sounded legit at first. People were tracking the letter, and it came from Alaska, went to D.C., and the way I thought it happened was that, Carter Ham, retired 4-star after Benghazi Gate, organized something for a year to then basically commit a coup, and that was the declaration sent in and then designed to be declared on July 4th. And then I look into the guy, which was the only loose end left, really, is, okay, well, who's this General Carter Ham? Look into him, find an hour and 15-minute long speech, and he's sitting there sucking up to the establishment, and hugging figuratively all the things that who we know are factually tyrannical. So, yeah. I mean, he's CFR.
Yeah, and people news bots and sound clips and stuff, and they don't pay attention the whole time. They completely will be oblivious and not understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. It takes time, it takes time to decode it. We know it now, but it took us time, and I think sometimes we put it at people, it's like, we expect them to turn that corner real quick, and sometimes you got to remember that, this stuff is pretty big and heavy for anyone just getting into the game. But we have it refined a little bit better too, so we can help speed up the process by, a lot of us, we sift through a lot of the garbage. We find the gold, and then we show them, hey, here's how it is, and it's a refined version of the truth, easier to understand and kind of really blatant and in their face, so they can turn that corner quicker. But it still takes time.
Yeah, and we definitely can't get into the old habit of taking anything for granted, including presumed loyalties.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, people can turn on a dime. I remember when Rachel Maddow actually was covering the National Defense Authorization Act. That clip of her is still running around. She was heavily critiquing that. I mean, she was just going after it. And then next thing you know, she's sitting up there on I think it's MSNBC, with the whole, Tea Party, domestic terrorist fringe, she's all part of that crowd now, just giving us a whole bunch of problems in the mainstream garbage media. I mean, yeah, people can turn like that, and Rand Paul seems to be like that. It looked like he was following in his father's footstep, and the next thing you know, he's over there in freaking Hillary Clinton's corner. Yeah, I mean, it's people can flip on you. It's a shame, but it happens.
I called into somebody last night. I had forgotten about the fella. It's way out in left field compared to what you're talking about, Justin. I do want to ask you, how's your health, man? How you been feeling?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I feel great.
Okay.
Yeah, a while back I had an arm injury. I got a plate and 5 screws in it. That's healed perfectly fine. I've got full mobility. That's the only real significant injury I've ever had that could have given me problems, but it came out all right. So.
Okay. Well,
I'm
good to hear, man. I'm glad you're holding it down good, man. I thought it was something else, but I'm glad to hear you state that. I mean, that's bad enough, but I'm glad you're feeling all right.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, things are good. Things are well with you?
Everything is well. The reason I turned my camera, I know we're live, but when it gets dark in my neighborhood, I sort of like to keep a visual on the front door, and this camera that I'm using here is also tied to my security system. So I've got 2 functions going at the same time. It's actually recording out there right now. So I usually turn it away when I hear something or whatever, but I can view it. I don't care about people seeing the front of my house while it's live, but that's the only way I can watch my front of my residence at the same time while we're live. So that's why I do that. But
yeah, I hear that.
Out to the live crowd, I've seen a few statements, and I don't know how to do shout-outs, but I do want to say everybody to the live Green Dragon Tavern chats at YouTube tonight. Shout-outs to the 29 people we got watching. And what I was mentioning was I saw a thing last night. It came up with somebody else's, like a podcast, they're sort of catching back on now. They went away for a while, this, that, and the other, but there was a guy, I know his name is Amos, and I can't think of his last name, but he was actually his name was Famous Amos Cookies. He's a black guy with a white beard. And he came to prominence back in the 90s during the Miami riots because he held his ground. He was getting burglarized after the riots or before Liberty City, Miami. But they kept robbing his shop, and he ended up killing a burglar. When they came down through the roof, he just laid waste to him. But last night I caught something on YouTube. He's doing a radio/podcast thing. But if you go to, and I know I'm not going to put a link in, but it's something to listen to. It's called BABA, which would be Baba. I know that's wild. And then Amos. Just do a low search on that. But what I heard last night, but this, and I know it's far left, this Malaysian flight thing, Dystopia. He was mentioning that there was like 15 to 20 engineers from Texas Instruments out Pardon?
Yep. Absolutely. And that, from what I understand, some of the people on that plane, if not them, had stock in that particular invention that they'd worked up. And the other person holding the other larger portion of the stock was the Rothschild guy.
Well, now I did not hear about Roth, so that's cool.
Rothschild, actually. Yeah.
Right. I didn't hear about the Roth family there. What caught me off guard, like I said, it's sort of drudging up left a thing on this conspiracy thing or whatever you want to call it. I was knowledgeable of the pre-flight stuff about that same airline, not company, but the 777 and what happened prior to it. There was another accident, and I knew the timeline on how long the beeper, would last, this, that, and the other. I did not know about the engineers, and I did not know until just now about that other family name that you mentioned. But I did hear him say, outside of that they had a patent on something that was worth, like, I know it was $1 billion mark, but it was like a 400 maybe, or 420 maybe billion mark.
It was hardware, like microchips and stuff, to be used to cloak airplanes from being
ain't that amazing?
radar. It was a radar cloak that we're working on.
Okay. So that tells, yeah. And turns out that this guy, this Amos, he mentioned on that cast last night, again, it was a radio thing that somebody was interviewing him on. It was all audio, no video. He said he was the one that found out about a guy named Ron Brown. This is when I first got hip to how governments will do another person wrong, like throw you out of a helicopter over top of San Anista or whatever if they don't like it. But back in the day, there was a guy called Ron Brown, and he was black. He was Secretary of Treasury. And I know he died in an airplane wreck, but this guy mentioned last night that they finally exposed that he had a bullet hole in the back of his head at the time of death, which was a plane wreck. And I don't know why they wanted to get rid of the Secretary of Treasury back then. That's when the executive was Clinton. But this guy was the one that exposed it to the government. And they've blackballed him now. He's almost in poverty. He probably is in poverty, sort of like the, I want to say McAfee is, Mr. John. He's not a fugitive, but he knows that anywhere he turns up, he'd probably get, suicided or something, That's the way I feel about this guy. He said he was a whistleblower to the fact he found out that Ron Brown was killed by forensics with a bullet hole to the back of his head in an airline wreck. And he apparently called the government or whatever. And he doesn't own that cookie business anymore or anything like that. And it's probably because of outside sources working against him. And I don't think he's well off like he could have been. But he's an advocate of telling the truth. And I had no idea about the Malaysian deal on that. But to me, it's not a conspiracy. But probably another one of those things where they were running a practice drill on that patent they had, and they wanted to kill them all so they could steal it.
Well, let's just say that now the guy's got is the full patent holder on that technology.
Mm-hmm.
Mighty damn convenient.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and it's true that the way I feel that they'd be willing to take out another 190 people or whatever it was. It was 232 people maybe. They're willing to take out another 215 people to sacrifice for the ones they want gone.
Yeah, I just looked here up on how that patent thing worked. It looked like it was one patent that a couple people were considered co-holders of. And what happens the way it is, it's if the other co-holders die, then whoever remains of the co-holders gains 100% of the patent. So they played into the rule book on that, and then
wow.
I remember someone saying that the whatever technology it was could have implications for not just military cloaking and various other things, but general like commercial use and stuff, like stuff all over the world. Like I heard whatever electronic component was involved would essentially turn cell phones could be made like half their size and made into supercomputers or something like that. It had computing capability, didn't it?
Sure. And it's been a long time since, respectfully to that, a shout out to Texas Instruments / Tandy Radio, whatever you want to call it. Shout out to them, man. It's been a long time since, they've been around a long time or whatever, but on the death deal, it gets transferred over. That's pretty unique. That's good info there.
Yeah, I guess it works kind of like the will, when someone wills out their stuff to people, and there's, co-shares go out if the say it goes out to 4 parties and then 3 of the 4 parties die, then it goes to that one, I believe. It's a similar type thing.
Well, yeah, and the device itself can obscure a radar image of a large moving object. It takes an amazing amount of calculations to make that image disappear.
Oh yeah, with all the live.
Yeah, with all the resolution radar, and more than one radar hitting an object at the same time, because we got a radar net pretty much for commercial air traffic.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with some of this commercial technology, let alone the military stuff. Most of the commercial technology is actually, older generation military technology. The internet started in military circles along with a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw something when it was going on while the search was still active. That surprises me now that I don't know how long it's been. I would say May, maybe like the month of May of this year is when we stopped hearing about that flight. Like I said, the reason that I was aware of it before it happened is because there was another. It's similar. It's almost exactly. It's called Air France. Different numbers, but same jet, same liner. But that pinger, or should I say the box, they stated then that it's got 30 days on it, this, that, and the other. But it's been so long since we've heard anything about it. I don't remember them writing it off like, I don't remember the Malaysian government saying or whatever saying, we're not looking no more. Last I remember was Australia saying, we're going to work harder, but I guess they wrote it off, because it's definitely not in any type of media, and I don't watch media, but I watch documentaries. That's the only reason I saw anything about it or heard something last night, but they write stuff off so quick. This thing that the tavern was drinking around and saw somebody go and do today or yesterday, last night, you know, I know my thoughts about it won't fade, but it's whatever that person saw that went out there, the media would probably forget about it in a day or two unless it stays active. They won't mention it again. You know? It'll be gone within a day. They'll come up with something else.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they're a slave to what comes across that teleprompter. I mean, they don't do any real investigative journalism. I mean, the local media will catch on to stuff and report it sometimes, sometimes not if it fits the agenda. Sometimes they actually do a good job of reporting because people will call it in. And it's not until, you know, the alternative media or a whole bunch of people really, you know, force their hand and force them to report it. That's how it was with Clive and Bundy. I mean, you know, the alternative media was going crazy with that before the mainstream picked it up. I mean...
Yeah, and you know, with me, I hate to say it, man, and I don't mean to be lost in the wilderness, but because I don't watch any media except a few outside sources anymore, because I don't watch the regular media for news. I don't watch TV per se because I think it's junk anyways. But the media thing, I stopped watching the news probably 5 years ago. So pretty much the stuff that I catch is just from a few outside sources, usually overseas, to look this way, you know? I'll go to like Voice of America or BBC or whatever, and, you know, that's a little touchy too, but just to look back over here, you know? But most of the stuff that I receive information about and catch the drift of what's going on is usually amongst the socials that I follow in YouTube and hangouts and nightly broadcasts from those type of hosts. And it's got to be better than, like you say, the big monies, you know, the big money media stuff, because anymore, I used to be a fan of Peter Jennings. I used to be a fan of Dan Rather. Those days have gone by. I can't trust ABC anymore. You know, my casters are gone in that era, man. To me, those were the broadcasters I could trust. You know, Jennings, Rather, Cronkite. You know, and maybe I'm being old school there. But,
Well, actually, the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations, is probably one of the biggest players in our corrupted government and why it's corrupt and, you know, and the different actions they take. One of the first things they did to get off the ground was to take control of the media. And that goes way back. I mean, that goes way back. So, and whenever we get some good people in the media, they're either forced out or they're forced to turn on people. It was like when Rachel Maddow started talking about the NDAA. Next thing you know, she's all for, you know, the same establishment stuff that we fight against. Actually, what was it? Bill O'Reilly, back in the day, was legitimately reporting, like doing some really good actual investigative journalism on the Kennedy assassination. And we all know that he was whacked by the CIA or some group like that because he was trying to reinstate the silver-backed currencies. He was trying to go back to fundamental currency. The Federal Reserve didn't like that. He was trying to pull out of some of the black operations and other things in Vietnam, stuff like that. So, yeah, they didn't like him. But yeah, Bill O'Reilly, he used to be, legitimate.
Yeah, and he could lay an argument on you, that's for sure. Bill, bring it to you, man. He'd argue with you, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any good media like that. I got turned on again, like I said yesterday, to something else. There's a guy. It's called they're called the Fisher. the Fisher brothers. And they're out of New York, but they do have a place called the Fisher Foundation Fisher House. And it's for the veterans that return, but they're in coffins.
Hmm.
And that foundation, the eldest is 80 years old. They have houses on bases across the world, war bases. And you can sort of parallel it with something called Ronald McDonald House. I don't know if you've heard of that. But
I know they have a fundraiser and some housing. I wasn't aware of its ties to anything military, though.
Well, yeah, it's I believe it's called the Green Hope Foundation for the Fisher deal, but it's sort of parallel with Ronald McDonald. It gives families a chance to come and grieve Ronald McDonald's for ill kids. You know, it gives the families a place to come and live next door to the hospital while their children are there. With the Fisher deal, where he got involved was the money on the Benghazi type deal. The guys that got killed in Benghazi, not the ambassador, but the SEAL guys. They weren't apparently, and I may have that wrong, but they weren't honoring these 5 or 6 SEALs that lost their lives coming back home that time. The same team that extracted or killed bin Laden. But apparently they weren't honoring the death benefits, and the families couldn't afford to go to the receiving of the casket. And that's where this gentleman set his foundation up at. He paid those 5, possibly 6 families the full benefit that our government should have paid for that.
Oh, wow.
And, his big pisser is that our current executive doesn't do. Now, given if we're in a world war and you got 40,000 bags coming home, you know, our executive can't be there to represent for that duration of time because it takes a while to get those. But when you got 5 or 6 guys and the executive don't show up, and then you got an outside source coming in to have to fund for the families because the government didn't want to pay for it. So he built these houses around the bases that they might be on bases so that the families can come and receive their loved ones. I'm talking about dead soldiers. And have a place to grieve and stay and make arrangements to get them back home. Because a lot of times they don't come straight. His main place is a place called Dover Air Force Base. That's